They were considered 1 and 2 going into this 2008 campaign, and yet here in September, we can see both of them pitch in the same game tonight. The starter, big number 50 of the St. Louis Cardinals, Adam Wainwright, looking for victory number 8. Fresh off the disabled list, a former Cy Young Award winner. He'll work out of the bullpen tonight. He's available for Tony La Russa, and that's Chris Carpenter. They are considered 2 aces. Wainwright, Carpenter. Game 2 from Arizona next. Hot outside, so they have the roof closed here at Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. The St. Louis Cardinals and the Arizona Diamondbacks, it's game 2 of their 3-game series. Our forward key, well, it could be a key tonight in game 2. Adam Wainwright, the key for him, how about postseason? 9 games, no earned runs as he closed out the 2006 World Series. The year before, Chris Carpenter won the Cy Young. Those two could pitch tonight. That's Al Hrabosky. I'm Dan McLaughlin. It isn't how you draw it up. You're hoping that these guys would both be in the rotation, but both healthy enough to pitch in September, so that is a positive.
Yeah, close out the season in the right fashion with these two guys, but it does say something about it. Wainwright missed half the season with his injury, and then you look at Carpenter, really only 3 abbreviated starts before injury got him again, but he will be pitching out of the bullpen hopefully as soon as tonight.
I asked Tony La Russa, how do you want to use him? He said, well, we're going to be very careful. We're going to have him warm up before an inning, but they'd like to ease him into that role in the bullpen.
And probably the first time would only be 1 inning appearance, and maybe after a couple of those, then you'll see him, if everything's okay, Tony will use him anyway, any shape, situation, but you know, it's just good to have him available.
So Carpenter in the bullpen tonight, but Wainwright gets the start for St. Louis. We'll shift from pitching to offense. When we come back, we'll talk about Ryan Ludwick, outstanding 2008 season, and the consistency of Albert Pujols. That's next. Welcome back to Chase Field in Arizona. Game 2 between the St. Louis Cardinals at 74 and 64, and the Arizona Diamondbacks at 70 and 67. A look at a couple of the sluggers of St. Louis. Ryan Ludwick, career high set this season. Games played, he's been healthy. Home runs, 32, and 1 shy of 100 in the RBI department. For Albert Pujols, a model of consistency since his first year in the league. First player in Major League history to start his career with 8 straight 30 home run seasons, as he homered here yesterday in Game 1 off of Randy Johnson. Ludwick will bat 5th in the lineup tonight. Albert Pujols will bat 3rd. 2 former teammates getting set to square off. We'll talk about 2 great Diamondbacks, Eckstein and Stephen Drew, and that's next. Back at Chase Field, where some of the Cardinal fans are coming through the turnstiles here in Arizona. It's game number 2 between the Diamondbacks and the St. Louis Cardinals. A look at the National League leaders and where they stand at the start of play today. The Cubs running away with the division, it looks like. 11 in front of St. Louis. The Brewers are 4.5 games out. The Cardinals 6.5 games out. And the wild card, every game so important for the Diamondbacks, leading by 2.5 over the Dodgers. They'll be in Los Angeles over the weekend. And then out east, it's the Mets leading the Phillies and the Marlins. 2 guys at the top of the lineup, though, for Arizona, setting the tone yesterday, Al. Stephen Drew and David Eckstein.
And what a day for Stephen Drew. He hits for the cycle, and then he gets an extra base hit and goes 5 for 5. But he wasn't the only story, as David Eckstein makes his first appearance, a sacrifice fly, and then he picks up a couple base hits in his Arizona debut. We've seen that swing before.
Looked very sharp at second base as well. He's in the lineup again today for the Arizona Diamondbacks. It's game number 2 up next here on FSN Midwest. Baseball tonight is brought to you by Bud Light. Endless refreshment from start to finish. Bud Light keeps it coming. By Auto Tire. For the lowest prices in town, you ought to go to Auto Tire, the tire pros. By Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers. And by Geico Direct. A 15-minute phone call could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And away we go. And the first pitch is a strike to Skip Schumacher, who is in the leadoff spot once again tonight for Tony La Russa. Batting .308, 8 home runs, and 43 RBIs. Yasmero Petit is the starter. There's a broken bat. Hit to the former Cardinal Eckstein. Dunn back to the bag. And 2 pitches, 1 out. Let's take a look at the Cardinals lineup tonight here in Arizona. Schumacher, Gloss, and then Pujols, and Keel and Ludwig. Ludwig, 14.3 at-bats per home run, 3rd best in the National League this season. Then Molina, Lopez, Wainwright, and Izturis. A surprise for the Cardinals tonight is Troy Gloss, as you get a look at the numbers for Petit. Brought to you by Rico. He is 3-3, and it's a surprise because Gloss, one, he's in the lineup. That's not a surprise, but where he is in this lineup, Al, he's batting 2nd.
Well, he's struggling a little bit, and I think Tony trying to jumpstart him right here, putting him in the 2-hole. It's worked for Ludwig and others. So Ludwig replaces Gloss in the 5th spot in the order.
I asked Tony, and he said it's a couple of reasons. Like you said, to jumpstart an individual like Troy Gloss, who has been struggling. And the other reason he wants to do it, he said, we've lost 4 in a row. We need to change everything up right now. Why not?
Yeah.
We need some wins. Here's a 1-1 pitch to the former Diamondback, who fouls it back. And Troy Gloss is 4 for his last 21. That's a 191 average, 1 RBI, 4 walks. And during that time, he has struck out 7 times. So Gloss in the hole, 1 ball and 2 strikes with Albert Pujols on deck. 1 to go up and in with him. He hit his spot, doesn't get the call. 2-2.
Teton only making his 7th start, but pitched very well for the Diamondbacks, and he's 2-0 in his career against the Cardinals. 1 start, 1 relief appearance, and an ERA of 1.20.
The 2-2. Popped foul and out of play. Ron Kolpa is the home plate umpire. He hails from St. Louis. Dale Scott is the crew chief. He's over at first. Bill Hahn at second base. And Dan Iasonia over at third. Rodney Hourglass Johnson is your official scorer. And yes, folks, he is on the hot seat tonight. Woo! Every official score is on the hot seat after what has taken place with CC Sabathia over the weekend. This is only the 34th time starting in the 2-hole in his career for Troy Gloss. By the way, Justin Upton, a late scratch from this game for Arizona. You might remember he was hit in the head on a Brad Thompson pickoff play late in the ball game last night, or I should say yesterday afternoon. Mild headache and not available at the start of our ball game. The 2-2 is hit down the right field line, but that'll slice foul. And talking with Hal McRae, what they're seeing right now with Troy Gloss, the backside dipping just a bit, so it gives you a little bit of an uppercut. And he says, I want everything straight to the ball, get that barrel through. He said Gloss is one of those guys that his home runs come because he's got such a smooth swing for a right-handed hitter. A little bit inside, and it's 3-2. So the bat speed is there, and that's what generates the home runs.
Yeah, but like you said, he drops the backside, he uppercuts, and this pitcher is a little bit more of a fly ball pitcher than what you see.
There's a base hit for Gloss. Hal was telling me, Al, that he thought the final at bat for Troy Gloss, in which he tried to go the other way in the ball game yesterday, was the best at bat that he had had, and that was a 9-pitch at bat in this one here to start tonight, but the best at bat he had had in the last week or so. And he actually went to Gloss to congratulate him, and Troy said, are you kidding me? I had a bad game. He said, no, you didn't. You're ready to come out of it. And he said, that's the guy right now I'm watching out for is Troy Gloss, and he picks up a base hit.
Yeah, sometimes you'll watch him at bat, just how he takes pitches or just the way he approaches mentally, and you could tell whether a guy's going to break out or not. This guy, you never have to worry about him breaking out.
No, you don't. And he leads in batting average at .363. You may have heard it on our pregame show. Pat Paris reporting that Chipper Jones, a scratch from the ball game tonight because of a knee injury in batting practice. Pujols out in front, pops it up. Will it find the seats? Reynolds is over and with a play, and he's got it. 2 outs. In steps Ricky Ankiel.
Ankiel, another guy who's got to get going.
Auto tire defense as we go around the horn for the Diamondbacks. Jackson out and left. And that's Chris Young in center. Alex Romero in for Upton. Reynolds, Drew, Eckstein, and Dunn along the infield. Montero is behind the plate. 2 outs, runner at first for Ankiel. In visiting with some of the coaching staff of the Cardinals before the game, we were specifically talking about Ricky Ankiel, and he said, and a couple of coaches were there, and they said, you know, we forget that Rick is really basically just playing in his second full season. This guy's potential is so good, and we realize it, but at times you forget because you look at the sheet and he's got 25 home runs and 71 RBIs.
Well, 25 home runs, that number, 25 home runs and 25 starts. There's only one other individual that has done that in their career. 25 starts as a pitcher, and that's Babe Ruth.
Rick Ankiel strikes out. Diamondbacks coming up in their half of the first. And there's no score as we move to the bottom of the first here in Arizona. David Eckstein 2 for 4 yesterday in his first game with the Diamondbacks. He'll bat second. Drew will lead it off, and then we'll see Connor Jackson here in this first inning for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Here's Drew, fresh off his 5 for 5 afternoon against St. Louis, which included the first ever cycle hit here at Chase Field. Adrian Beltre, if you didn't see it last night, hit for the cycle for the Mariners. It's the first time 2 players have hit for the cycle in the same day since Bobby Veach, George Burns. They did it back in 1920. First time that Drew has been retired in this series. Our Rico starter for the Cardinals, Al, his 16th start of the year, Adam Wainwright.
His third since June the 7th, and his first road start since June the 7th. June the 7th is when he injured his middle finger. He's pitched very well since coming back. And, you know, you look at it, he'll probably be close to missing nearly half the season with that injury.
I had the chance to visit with Tony La Russa before the game, and we were talking about Eckstein and what he may mean to this Diamondbacks team. And of course, Tony was talking about David in glowing terms, but one of the things that really impressed Tony and the Cardinals coaching staff was the way that he moved around second base. They know he's a decent defensive player, but they felt, and watching his 2 for 4 game yesterday, that was typical Eckstein, but the way that he played second defensively really stood out to them.
Talked to David before the game, and I asked him about that move to second base, and he said he knew that at some point in his career he would have to return to the position that he came up through the minor leagues. So he's totally on board with it and expected to make this conversion.
I'll be interested to see how the Cardinals pitch him. They want to pitch him up and not down. Down, he can go down and get it, and we saw that twice yesterday in his base hits. The one was down and away, as we saw in our previous highlights moments ago, and he was able to take that to right field. And I would think that, Al, that David knows as well as anybody that follows the game, arm strength is not a strong suit of his, and that's one of the reasons he would have to move to second base.
Sometimes people forget, though, so many unusual throws at second to where you're going away from the first base bag to where, you know, it's not just that simple. Okay, lack of arm strength, you can just move a guy to second base, but he is athletic enough, and he's got the good feet, and, you know, he's got the will to make a play.
Grounder hit to short. It's Turris with it, and he makes the play. 2 down, and it brings in Jackson. Cardinals defense around the horn, as always, brought to you by our good friends at Auto Tire and Keel. Schumacher, Ludwig in the outfield. Gloss is over at third. Is Turris. We just saw him at short. Lopez at second base. Albert Pujols at first. Yadier Molina is behind the plate. Wainwright took a no decision against the Brewers in his last start. Game that the Cardinals eventually came back to win in dramatic fashion, but for whatever reason, they couldn't build upon it. And, you know, realistically, 3 of the 4 losses on this road trip are winnable games, and games that the Cardinals probably should have won.
And that's what's so frustrating, is when you get the effort, a lot of things go on in a ball game, but you can't close out the victory. Tony La Russa said right from the beginning, you know, we may not be good enough, but we're going to have that effort. And that's all he asks his team. Play hard all the way through. We'll see how many wins we end up with, and we'll find out if we were good enough or not.
Milwaukee playing host to the Mets. They're tied up 5-5. That's in the 5th. Big game for the Diamondbacks to be watching for. The Dodgers, they'll play San Diego later, and Colorado winning again in the bottom of the 5th. You have to mention the Rockies scores now, because after what they did last year, they're back in it, and they lead San Francisco 5-2. As crazy as that sounds, they're back in it. Pujols will take it himself, steps on the bag. Good start for Wainwright. Coming up for St. Louis, Ludwig, Molina, and Lopez. No score after 1. Well, we're just underway here in Arizona. Top of the 2nd rolls in, and there's no score. It's the return of Pro Football Preview. We have raised the bar for pregame shows with the addition of Sean Merriman as he joins Jay Glazer and Eddie George each week to give you the perspective of a current NFL player. Pro Football Preview returns Friday at 11. Here's Ludwig. Merriman has had 4 different doctors tell him he needs reconstructive surgery on his knee, and he has decided to forego surgery and play this season. If you ask me, I think he's nuts. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I don't think he asked you.
I'm sure the Chargers don't mind. Al, it's okay. I can have an opinion. I know
yeah,
that.
No, I just didn't think he cared about your opinion.
I'm sure he does.
I do.
1-2 on Ryan Ludwig. Cardinals in 3rd place in the National League Central at 74-64. 11 games back of Chicago, and 6.5 back of Milwaukee for the wild card.
Teat has already demonstrated that he's going to pitch these guys inside off the plate, and then get you out of the way.
Here's a 2-2 pitch, sets up away. Ludwig pops it up right side and out of play. Adam Dunn giving that a look, as Dunn has moved to first base for the Diamondbacks. He's also played the outfield as well. Two and two the count. And he got him. Ludwig knew it. He struck out 2 straight, 2 on the night.
That was set up inside, and the ball caught enough of the plate. I think Ryan will look back on that and see that that caught probably the inner third of the plate.
Also had a conversation about Molina with Hal McRae and the difference with him this year. And he's been hovering around the top 10 in batting. And he says in his mind, and Tony was talking about it too, Tony said the relationship that Molina has with Pujols has been big, that Albert has really helped him out. And the other thing is, and there's a line shot, he's no longer known as the man with 1,000 different stances. He has stuck with one for the last year and a half and been consistent with that stance, and Hal feels that that's been a big difference.
It has to be. You know, just you constantly, you don't hear too many really good hitters or good players that constantly tinker with their stance. One guy that comes to mind is Cal Ripken Jr., but very few others.
One of the things about September, in particular with a guy like Felipe Lopez, he can help you now, but there's a look at Hal McRae. But you're also trying to figure out about the future. Is he in your plans for next year? And the Cardinals, and I'm sure that's one of the reasons that we've seen him play as much as he has. You know what you have in Miles. You know what you have in some of the other guys. You don't know what you have in Lopez.
Well, he's very intriguing. He also has hit .355 since coming.
Oh, he's
to
made
St.
a nice
Louis.
impression.
Switch hitter, very versatile, which helps out. But the thing is I think he's eligible for free agency.
Brendan Ryan is one of the call-ups, and there's a bunch that we'll talk about throughout our telecast. Here's a 1-2. Ooh, just missed. There's Miles with the Brendan Ryan. Brian Barton, who was part of the bronze medal Olympic team, is back with the Cardinals. The 2-2 is hit to second base. Taken there by Eckstein. A 1-2-3 inning for Petit. Midway through 2 and there's no score. Fox regular season kicks off this weekend. Rams take on the Eagles. Buccaneers, Saints, Seahawks, Bills, Lions, Falcons, Cowboys, Browns, Panthers take on the Chargers, the Cardinals, and the 49ers. Coverage begins Sunday with America's #1 pregame show at 11, and that's in high definition only on Fox. As the NFL season is here, here's Adam Dunn. He's 4 for 10 in his career against Wainwright with a home run.
Lead the major leagues with 104 walks and third with his 35 home runs.
He also is a free agent to be. How gaudy will those home run totals be once he leaves Cincinnati? He doesn't get many cheap ones, though. That's the thing about Dunn. He hits them a long way. He's had 3 home runs with Arizona since the trade with Cincinnati. I remember talking with you at the beginning of the season. We saw Cincinnati. We said 2 of their biggest decisions will be Adam Dunn and King Griffey Jr., and both have been traded. And Dunn, a leadoff walk.
Well, Walt Jockney putting his stamp on that Cincinnati ball club. And their struggles. They are in 5th place now, 23.5 games behind Chicago.
We've talked about it. That has to be one of the toughest jobs in the National League, trying to find out how to win at that ballpark. It is a factor, just like Colorado was for all those years at Coors. You can't have fly ball pitchers. You're looking for sinker ballers, guys that get ground balls. There's the curveball and a strike to Mark Reynolds. Home runs, the ballpark leaders, U.S. Cellular Field, and then the Great American Ballpark at 179. No surprise there. And surprising for some is that you don't see Coors Field on there anymore.
No, but I was just looking at the scoreboard. The Pirates beat Cincinnati today 3-2, and the Pirates had lost 10 straight games.
Nothing in 2 the count on Reynolds. Wainwright, another curveball that's bounced and blocked nicely by Molina.
Mark Reynolds, 27 home runs, 92 RBIs. A young third baseman also with 26 errors.
Committed an error in the ball game yesterday
and hit a home run.
I think if you're the Pirates and you get to this point in the year, every year since '93, and you have absolutely no chance. There's a strikeout and the first of the night for Wainwright. Reynolds is on pace for 200+ strikeouts. Now is your chance to register for Fan Frenzy at Busch Stadium. Register to win a 2-minute race through the official Cardinals team store. The opportunity to grab all the Redbird gear you can carry. For more information, stop by the team store in Busch Stadium. It's open 7 days a week. First strikeout of the night for Wainwright, and the first out recorded here in this bottom of the second. Here's Miguel Montero. He's had a solid second half offensively for the Diamondbacks.
On catcher, took an over yesterday, but in his last 11 games just hitting under 390.
Josh Kenny, one of the call-ups for the Cardinals, and a real nice interview done by Jim Hayes on the pregame show. It's great to see Kenny come back, and that's hit out to right. Ludwig over and makes the catch in the corner. Dunn has to scurry back to first. But Al, it was a long road back for Josh Kenny, and he's excited to be here.
Yeah, Josh missed 300 regular season games with the Tommy John, and this was a long run out there for Ludwig, and he makes the play behind Adam Wainwright.
Josh is about 18 months removed from Tommy John surgery. And he's had so many setbacks along the way. He had elbow surgery. He had the fractured elbow. And such an important part of the 2006 World Series team. And in many ways, it's a reward for that. And also to see that he can do well here again at the major leagues.
Well, you know, I mean, Tony La Russa and Dave Duncan will be very partial to him and cut him a lot of slack, because you don't win the World Series without his contribution. He was very clutch down the stretch, setting up Adam Wainwright as the Cardinal closer. And so, you know, you try and give him every opportunity. And if he physically feels good and he thinks his breaking ball is back, you know, he can be very helpful, not only here in September, but how about next year?
Absolutely. 0-2 on Chris Young, and that's Mott, Jason Mott, the hard thrower that's a converted catcher. He's been called up. At some point he'll make his major league debut. And Tony was saying that if it's between the two and he feels his bullpen is short tonight, we're going to see Jason Mott before we see Josh Kenny. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Wainwright. Top of the third rolls in. Cardinals have 1 base hit. That was by Troy Gloss. And it's our this date in baseball history historic season for Bob Gibson. 1968, brought to you by Schnucks. Bob Gibson records his 20th win and 12th shutout of the season. Remarkable year by Gibson in 1968. Changed the game. Everything's so offensive minded. Because of Gibson, they lower the mound.
I think they should raise it back up.
Or call the strike zone.
Well, call the strike zone, but raise it back up, and I think it'd take a lot of pressure off the pitcher's arms. There's a reason right there.
And you're saying that because
he's throwing on a downward tilt.
0-2 on Wainwright. How about the year, Al, for Cliff Lee, the lefty who at this time last year was in the minor leagues for the Cleveland Indians. He is 20-2. Picked up another win, the first 20-game winner. 20-2 in 27 games started this year for the Indians. 2.32 ERA. A remarkable season, 149 strikeouts, and he's on his way to a possible Cy Young award.
He's won over 30% of the Indians' starts or games.
And you think about Sabathia and Cliff Lee in that rotation, and yet the Cleveland Indians with only 66 wins at the start of play tonight. Wainwright strikes out. Number 3 for Petit on the night. I owe the public just one thing, a good performance. Geico quote from the Hall of Famer Bob Gibson.
Well, it was a pleasure to be a teammate of Bob's, but to sit in the bullpen and remember the configuration of at Busch Stadium, the bullpens were down the foul lines, and you have the crowd sitting right behind you, and you hear the comments and what the fans thought of Bob Gibson. That was, you know, a money pitcher. If you ever had to win one game, you wanted Bob Gibson to be on the mound. Those are what players dream about hearing about themselves, but it was talking about Bob.
People today, the guys that have followed this game for years, they're asked that question, who do they want? They still say Bob Gibson. Greg Maddux tied Roger Clemens on the all-time wins list yesterday. And Maddux was saying that in his mind that was something, and you know, he pitched against us earlier, and he was even talking with some of the beat writers and broadcasters, a group session, that, you know, a real important mark for him is to tie Roger Clemens and then possibly pass him as Turris, the 9th place hitter, draws a 1-out walk. Well, he tied him last night, and in his mind, he said Clemens is probably the best that I've ever seen. Most people would agree, but after the allegations of steroids, now people are going to put, in my mind, Maddux ahead of Clemens.
Well, I mean, the thing is, what Maddux has done, and no one's ever going to link him or accuse him of steroids, but to do it in the home run era, the steroids era, it is quite remarkable.
Here's Schumacher, the Cardinal leadoff man. A 1-out walk for Cesar Izturis. The 27th walk of the season for the switch hitting shortstop. How about Skip Schumacher? We were looking at leadoff guys that have played in that leadoff spot 100 or more games this year, and Schumacher leads all of them in average at .315 from the leadoff position. That's ahead of Reyes of the Mets, Ramirez, Rollins. Pretty good company, and Skip Schumacher, as far as average, is ahead of the other three.
He's second in the major leagues with a .348 batting average against right-handed pitching. Hitting .340 second half.
Isn't this the time too, Al? Even though his numbers are way down against lefties, that if a lefty is on the mound, you're in September to let him work out some of the problems he may have against left-handed pitching?
Well, I would love to see that opportunity, but yet with expanded rosters, sometimes, you know, there's your opportunity to see somebody else. One guy we will not see any more of is Joe Mather. Joe Mather will have hook of the hymate surgery on Thursday here in Arizona. His season is through, but he injured on that swing in yesterday's ball game, and right after that,
here's a high pop-up in the left. Connor Jackson there for out number 2.
Remember, he went right after that at bat. He went out to the field, and we saw Barry Weinberg go out there and with a towel and everything. He thought it just kind of the pain would alleviate, and I'm sure his mind was distracted on the triple by Stephen Drew as he got all turned around on that immediately right after he fractured or broke the hymate bone.
And Mather was saying that the bone may have been broken even earlier prior to the game yesterday, but played through it, didn't say anything. But the check swing really hurt it. Gloss is 1 for 1 on the night, and Mather was saying that he was looking forward to playing winter ball, and because of the recovery with the hand injury, he'll probably miss at least half a season of winter ball. So he's not sure if he's going to be able to do that at all. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Troy Gloss with a runner at first. Pujols on deck. You could see the catcher Montero point to his front shoulder as Petit was flying open. And when you fly open, what happens?
Well, you don't have,
problems.
one, you don't have command, and the ball's not going to go where you want it to do. One thing he does a lot of times when he's behind the count, he'll throw a slider. It's really a slider speed at 86, but it didn't look like it really had any movement to it. But behind the count, a lot of times he'll throw a slider to the right-hand batter, and he'll throw the curveball to the lefties.
2 balls and a strike and a check on his Turris.
I like the fact, and before they throw to first base, Montero, the catcher, set up inside, and he has been pounding the inside part of the plate. Usually guys that pitch inside are guys that win.
The 2-1. Gloss cranks it out to deep left field at the wall, and it's gone. Line drive home run for Troy Gloss, his 22nd on the year. RBIs 86 and 87. 2-0 Cardinals. And he's closing in on 300 home runs.
It's one away now. Interesting. I was saying Montero set up inside, and then he threw a ball there. This one he did not set up inside. He left it on the inner third, and he just turned on it and powers the home run. His 22nd of the year. 2 more RBIs, 87.
Pujols again pops it up. A mile high. Third baseman Reynolds, he's got it. Troy Gloss 2 for 2. 2-0 Cardinals. And the Cardinals have a lead of a 2-0. And the first pitch by Adam Wainwright is a strike to Romero. Alex Romero is in right field tonight, hitting .244 on the season, 1 home run and 12 RBIs. He's stolen 4 bags on the year, and the 0-1 pitch is the curveball, and that's in there for a strike. As Wainwright is made progress in his return to the rotation. The curveball has been getting a little bit sharper, and tonight at times he's really spun off a couple of good ones.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think he's shown some of his better curveballs that we've seen since his return.
Here's the 0-2. There's another one in the dirt.
Good one there. That's the good curveball when you're ahead in the count and you're just trying to get a guy to get himself out, chase it. A lot of times you'll see a get ahead curveball, which is more of a lollipop.
Cardinals are 51-26 this year when they score first. They've done so tonight. Third strikeout for Adam Wainwright. Baseball tonight on your home of the Cardinals. FSN Midwest is brought to you by your St. Louis area Kia retailers. Kia, the power to surprise. We've had nice weather out here in Arizona, as you might expect.
A little warm today.
We'll be begging for that warm weather come January in St. Louis. Before you know it, it'll be the winter warm-up. The Writers' Dinner, the Cardinals Caravan, the 0-1 pitch in there for a strike, 0-2 on Petit. Looking for his first hit. In his career, he's 0-63, no hits this year. The 0-2 pitch. Wainwright a little help offensively with a 2-run homer by Troy Glaus. Glaus and Eckstein, the only two players in baseball history to have played for the Angels, Arizona, Toronto, and St. Louis. Bye-bye. Fourth strikeout for Wainwright. You can join Red, Rick, Al, and Fredberg for Heroes at the Hall on Saturday, September 27th at the Cardinals Hall of Fame Museum. Activities, presentations for all ages. For more information, visit us at STLCardinals.com. Well, he's a fan favorite, Stephen Drew, brother of J.D. Drew. And Tim Drew was a pitcher in the Cleveland organization, and I believe his career is through.
As far as we know, right?
That's right.
At least we suspect. Never quite.
Some guys,
former #1 draft pick, but not as talented as, and all three of them were #1s, right?
And some guys, you know, you don't know what happens. They go to the independent league to keep pitching, or even lower in the minor leagues just to hang on, get a chance. Here's a 2-0 pitch to Drew, popped to left field his first time up, and made his first out in this series. He was 5 for 5 yesterday in game 1.
Oh, now, when Stephen Drew hits for the cycle, you can kind of say, okay, I can believe that, because yesterday he hit his 10th triple in doing so. But Beltre, when Beltre got his cycle yesterday, it was his first triple of the year.
Right. And he did it at a hitter's ballpark in Texas.
You know, Babe Ruth never hit for the cycle. There's a few great players that never did so.
2-2 is tapped foul. Mark Grudzielanek hit the last cycle at the Old Busch Stadium while wearing the Cardinal uniform. And as big as this ballpark is, hard to believe that that was the first cycle, because you're going to figure you're going to get the triples. First cycle ever at Chase Field. 2-2 pitch. Drew spoils it, just got a piece. They say that Stephen is unlike JD. But Stephen is a guy that, you know, is very soft-spoken, just like JD, but you don't see Stephen going on the DL often. And you know, JD at times it's been serious injuries, but other times there's been questions about the severity of certain injuries.
And I'm sure in JD's mind they are severe, but Stephen has a nickname Dirt, and that's not synonymous with JD.
No. Fights it off. Diamondbacks had some really poor seasons, had high draft picks, and they picked Young and Stephen Drew, Upton. Made some real good trades along the way. There's Kirk Gibson on the left. Melvin, their manager. 2-2 is a fair ball, backhanded by Gloss, shows off the arm. Good play. Wainwright is through 3, and he has struck out 4 and is yet to allow a hit. Rick Ankiel leads it off for the Cardinals in the top of the 4th. Petit has allowed a home run, his 26th that he's allowed. And that was to Troy Gloss. It'll be Rick Ankiel, Ryan Ludwig, and Yadier Molina. A lot of people here in Arizona pulling for Brandon Webb to win the Cy Young Award in the National League. Ankiel corks this one down the right field line and foul. Let me give you a name that a lot of people haven't talked about. Tim Lincecum.
Well, people in baseball talk about him. Brandon Webb is, he will be one of the finalists, and rightfully so, but he's hurt himself in his last 2 starts, getting beat by San Diego and the Dodgers, and giving up 6 runs in each of them.
Webb with 19 wins, and he's 3rd in winning percentage, but Lincecum has the best ERA so far, 2.43, and the best winning percentage.
The team he's playing for, the Giants, and remember, he shut out the Cardinals.
It's something that needs to be looked at. He does have 10 no decisions, and in those games he went 7 innings 5 times.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not like most of those no decisions are probably blown saves.
Right. Or lack of run support too. Lincecum, when he starts, they're 19-9. 3-2 pitch to Rick Ankiel, taken low. The second walk for the Cardinals tonight. Well, this should be a lot of fun, and we hope you take advantage of this. It's Mizzou and Southeast Missouri State this weekend on pay-per-view. The following week we'll have Nevada and Missouri. If you can't make it to Faurot Field, you can still see the Tigers, and you can purchase the game throughout the state from your major cable and satellite providers. Here's Ludwig. Mizzou coming off a thrilling win against Illinois over the weekend in St. Louis. And we'll have the pay-per-view game this weekend against Southeast Missouri State. I'm not sure it's going to be as thrilling, but a chance to see Mizzou. For the 1-0 pitch. A strike, 1-1. I think it's great for fans across the state that can't make it to Faurot. A team that is in the national championship picture and a chance to watch all their games on television.
Absolutely.
Can't beat it.
And one of the most entertaining teams.
Oh, man. Are they fun on offense or what? Need to tighten up that pass defense a little bit.
There you go, coaching again, huh?
I'm not coaching. I'm just watching. It's not too hard to figure out. 1 ball, 1 strike on Ludwig. On the inside corner.
That's what I've said. He's been the ability to get inside on these hitters is very valuable and a big asset. But the one to Gloss, he left over in the middle of the plate.
And the 1-2 pitch. Foul back. Love to see Ludwig finish strong this final month of the regular season. See where the numbers could wind up. He is 1 RBI shy of 100 here in 2008. What a season it has been. And Ludwig strikes out. It's been a tough road trip. Outside of yesterday, he had the 2 doubles, but an 0 weekend in Houston. You can visit the official online shop of the Cardinals at STLCardinals.com and browse the largest selection of authentic team gear, which includes caps, t-shirts, jerseys, and more. Get your Cardinals gear straight from the source. Shop the STLCardinals.com shop today. Fourth strikeout for Petit. Here's Molina. And Yadier Molina hits it a ton. Out to left. It's at the wall, and it's gone. The second home run of the night for the Cardinals. Yadier, his second in as many games against Arizona. His 7th of the season. RBIs 54 and 55, and it's 4-0 St. Louis.
Extends his hitting streak to 13 games and doubles the Cardinals' lead. That pitch, there's that stroke, got underneath it, drives the ball up there. Connor Jackson jumps, comes up empty.
Milwaukee and the Mets tied up 5-5. That's in the 7th. Here's Lopez.
Houston has a 7-5 lead over Chicago, with the Cubbies batting in the bottom of the 6th. Phillies won today. LA has jumped out to a 2-0 lead over San Diego.
And the 1-1 pitch to Lopez is hit foul and out of play.
These Diamondbacks only have a 2.5 game lead over the Dodgers.
Big series for them this weekend. They've got Heron and Webb lined up. Those two have been struggling as the team struggled against the Dodgers. The 1-2 pitch. Lopez pulls it foul. Manager of the year in the National League a season ago, Bob Melvin.
Good baseball man. I've known Bob since the 80s. My last year playing. I like him a lot.
Another 1-2 pitch to Felipe Lopez. Here it comes. Low. Their GM and CEO is Jeff Morad, and that may ring a bell for a number of baseball fans. One of the power agents that was in that same group, like a Scott Boras. Made enough money, well, he said, I'm going to buy the team. How about this? Felipe Lopez, right field, at the wall, out of here. Felipe Lopez, 5-0 Cardinals.
Felipe hit his first home run as a Cardinal yesterday and gets number 2 here today. Just his 4th on the season.
And this will be our Hardy's prime cut of the game. The swing and the long ball. Felipe Lopez, Molina, and Felipe go deep, back to back.
Not that long ago, he was an all-star, a Silver Slugger Award winner, and playing shortstop for the Reds. Didn't he hit 23 home runs that year?
20 plus one year, I believe.
Yeah, it's only his 4th this year, but he's been rejuvenated wearing the Cardinal uniform.
So 5-0 St. Louis. Remember, though, they had a 5-1 lead yesterday. Here's Adam Wainwright with 1 out.
And a little different story with Adam on the mound.
I agree. And Wainwright looks sharp early on.
And I take exception to your comment earlier that Tony, and I know Tony told you that his bullpen was short. How can you be short when you expanded your rosters?
He used Vallone yesterday.
So you can, yeah, one batter.
Al, relax. I'm going over the guys that are going over here. Flores, Springer, McClellan. Let's see. Kenny pitched yesterday in the minor leagues. You do have Jimenez. You've got Mott. You've got Perez. Yeah, you should be pretty well set to go.
Franklin.
It's
only 10 relievers down there.
2 balls and 1 strike on Adam Wainwright. Wainwright pops it up to the right side. And that'll find the seats out of play. Every game is so important for both these ball clubs. St. Louis mathematically still pushing and still alive. Arizona, very important game for them, and the Dodgers have jumped out to a 2-0 lead. 2-2 pitch hit to Stephen Drew at short to his left, and he makes the play. Houston leads 7-6 over the Cubs. The Astros playing some of the best baseball in the division. And they're the one team that has actually played Chicago pretty well.
The Cardinals have lost 4 straight. Houston has won 6 straight. And they are 2 games behind the Cardinals as we speak.
A strike at the knees to Izturis. Walked and scored in the 3rd. The home run by Gloss. He got things going. Cardinals with 7 home runs in the first 2 games of the series. The 0-1 pitch. Taken down and in. I think if you're looking at the Cardinals from an outside perspective, you're saying that Izturis gives you pretty good defense, but you need some pop from the shortstop position, maybe the second base position as well. Izturis grounds to David Eckstein. Cardinals have opened up a 5-run lead. Cardinal fans have made their way to the desert, and St. Louis looks good here in Game 2. The pitching of Adam Wainwright, and the offense, 4 hits, 3 of those the long ball, a couple of 2-run shots, and the Cardinals have a 5-run lead. The former Cardinal, the World Series MVP for St. Louis in 06, David Eckstein leads it off. Eckstein grounded out to short. In his first plate appearance, it'll be Eckstein, Jackson, and Dunn. There's the curveball lifted out to right center field. Handled by Skip Schumacher. And there's one away.
Dan, that's what you were talking about. The Cardinals would like to see Eckstein hit the ball in the air, and particularly out to center field, the deepest part.
Connor Jackson grounded to first his first time up. You know, the Cardinals loved what David Eckstein did for them. And I think, Alan, I don't know if you agree with this. I think before it's all said and done, Arizona is going to have a real good player in Eckstein for the final month. And I say that for a couple of reasons. Number one, I think he's healthy. And I'm not sure he was fully healthy with the Cardinals last year. And number two, he's rested. He wasn't playing in Toronto.
Right. And I totally do agree with you. And I talked to Bob Melvin. You know, I talked to David, then I talked to Melvin about him and everything, and he's thrilled to death. You know, he knows that he doesn't have to worry about him. He's going to be ready to play every single day. He's not going to do anything to embarrass himself. The manager, the management, and the organization. He's just, you know, a winning player.
Let's hit out of play.
And remember, with a lot of young guys on that team, he's going to be a real leader and show them how to handle the pressure down the stretch.
One with Anaheim and one with St. Louis. He's been in pennant races before. The 1-2 pitch. Last year was very tough on him because, again, you know, he's one of those kind of guys, a professional athlete that plays for the right reasons. He competes very hard, and when he's injured, more times than not, he's not going to make it an issue with anybody. Certainly not the media or the public, the fans. And I think quietly he was pretty banged up last year. Let's hit out of play again. One and two is the count on Jackson with Dunn to follow. Nobody in this National League West wants to run away with this division. Initially, it looked like the Diamondbacks were going to do that. Great first month plus. There's the first base hit down the left field line, a fair ball into the wall. Jackson with a 1-out stand-up double. The official score just said, whew, I don't have to worry about it. It's a clean hit. The Aflac trivia question. Who led the Cardinals with 29 saves back in 2000? Is this Dave Veers? Is it Dave Veers? Yeah. Also led the team in 2001 with 15. Year prior to that, it was the Rick Croushore era in Cardinals baseball. Here's Adam Dunn with 1 out and a runner at second base.
Izturis, the shortstop, playing on the first base side of second, behind the second base bag. Saw Dunn hit a home run yesterday to left field.
And a 1-0 pitch to Dunn. It was Veers, Kyle, and I believe Luther Hackman was part of that deal as well from the Rockies. Cardinals in 2000 also picked up Fernando Vina. Say what you will, but a lot of that was done because of the seats that were filled because of Mark McGwire. Payroll was raised, trades were made, and it made a difference with the Cardinals.
No doubt about it. You know, Cardinal faithful coming through the turnstiles allowed trades to be made. Ownership said, okay, people are coming in, we've got extra revenue, we'll take on more salary and payroll.
That's why this offseason could be real interesting as Dunn hits it out to left. Ricky Ankiel is there, makes the catch. Let's go pitch by pitch. Adam Wainwright against Adam Dunn. And this is brought to you by Chevrolet.
Remember, predominantly your defense, you're going to pitch him inside. Fastball, then you got the cutter, another slider. And he gets the pitch out over the plate. And because that was out over the plate, Dunn, you saw his frustration, slammed the bat down. But because of the pitches inside, he was a little, got underneath the pitch. But that pitch, if you don't pitch inside, he might hit that to dead center.
And Wainwright has been ahead of the count most of the time tonight. He's had just 2 3-ball counts.
But that's one thing since he's come back. It's been a trademark. Think about the first time, it was about 62 pitches, and he got you 6+ innings. So he's just going out there and controlling the strike zone. When you do that, you usually got the hitter defensive.
Reynolds struck out his first time up. Wainwright has struck out 4. He has walked 1 and allowed just 1 hit. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. We just saw it done. You mentioned it, Al, the frustration. You come over, you're in a pennant race, and really for the first time for Adam Dunn in a pennant race, a lot of pressure I'm sure he feels to prove to these guys that he can help offensively, especially with the power numbers.
And like you said, he's only hit 3 home runs, one of those yesterday, since coming over the trade.
2-1. And on the flip side of that, you talk about a guy like Eckstein, who's been in this before.
Yeah, but sometimes the key is pressure's a word. You as the individual puts the definition on it. And, relish the opportunity. Don't let it sink you.
The 2-1. For you, you could do it. Easier said than done. For others, it's a lot harder.
Well, but I mean, I think it's just because you just dream about being in that, having that opportunity. You just want to be there when the game's on the line. You want to be the guy they call on. And it's almost, like dreaming about it or anticipation. But if you're afraid of it, it's going to smother you.
About that stat of Wainwright in postseason play, his appearances, and what he had done. And that's a little bit what you're talking about. He said he dreamt of the moment of closing out a postseason game, a World Series game. And he said probably the greatest moment, even more so than the strikeout of Brandon Inge, was the strikeout of Beltran to end the NLCS in 06 at Chase Stadium. Froze him.
That got you the World Series. What he had done against the Cardinals, particularly in postseason.
The 3-2 pitch. He got him. Strikeout number 5 for Wainwright. We have played 4. The Budweiser on tap, and it's 5-0 St. Louis. Adam Wainwright has been sensational tonight. And it's our What's on Tap brought to you by Bud Light. Bud Light keeps it coming. And we'll have Game 3 for you tomorrow here on FSN Midwest. The Cardinals and the Diamondbacks tomorrow at 1:30 here on your home of the Cardinals. Cal Loge against Doug Davis. The lefty is 6-8, and Loge is 13-6. Top of the lineup for the Cardinals, and here's Skip Schumacher. Schumacher, Gloss, and Pujols. Skip is grounded out to second and flied out to left, 0 for 2. I was talking with some of the Cardinal personnel about the minor leagues, and they said that Colby Rasmus finished up very strong. Very pleased with how he finished defensively. They said he even got better, but swinging the bat was very good. I don't know many folks that didn't think that Rasmus would be here in September. That was kind of what we were led to believe at the start of the season, but it was not an easy season for Colby.
Well, and the fact that he got hurt, I mean, yeah, you knew he'd be here sometime this year.
And a ground ball hit to Eckstein for the first out.
But that was assuming he wouldn't get hurt and he would have that productive season. After a slow start and before he had the knee injury, he was very, very productive.
There's Dan Radisson, the minor league hitting coordinator for the St. Louis Cardinals. He also talked about Brett Wallace and the way that he could swing the bat. They are thrilled with how he swings the bat. The #1 pick out of Arizona State. One out. Here's Troy Gloss. He also talked about Mott, who is here with the Cardinals, and we'll see him at some point before the season is through.
Dan Radisson was in the Cardinal organization for quite a while. Then when Jim Riggleman started getting big league jobs, Radisson was a coach with him in the big leagues. So this is not a guy that hasn't been, you know, that's just got very little experience. He's a lot at the minor leagues and big league experience. So a word, you know, he knows what he's talking about.
Here's a 2-0 pitch. 2-1 on Troy Gloss, the former Diamondback. While in Phoenix, he dedicated a field in his name for youth baseball in the area. 2-1. Gloss is 2 for 2 with a single and a 2-run homer. Cardinals have hit 3 home runs tonight. There's action in the Arizona pen, a right-hander and a lefty getting loose.
Now they have 10 relievers down there, like the Cardinals.
The 3-1 pitch to Troy Gloss. 3-2. Cardinals had back-to-back home runs from Molina and Lopez last inning. And that's the 5th time they've gone back-to-back this year. The last time it happened was at Cincinnati. Ryan Ludwig and Albert Pujols did it. Full count pitch to Gloss. Took something off it and he strikes out. That young man is not impressed with the Arizona State Sun Devil. Matter of fact, where's mom, where's dad, and get this guy away from me, please.
Smart young man.
Yes. Well, Pujols has hit a couple that have almost touched the roof. Straight up. A couple of pop-ups, and he's 0 for 2. Let's see him straighten one out. And the first pitch is taken outside. Is he your MVP in the National League? He's going to make a strong case for it, no doubt. First in batting average, first in on base percentage, first in slugging, first in OPS, second in fielding percentage. The list goes on and on. 8th in go-ahead RBIs, in the top 15 in game-winning RBIs. So it's a pretty good resume.
His 30th home run last night. All 8 seasons in the big leagues, he's hit 30 or more. 9 away from doing that century bearer in the RBIs in all 8 of his seasons. He's been a 300+ hitter all 8 seasons.
3-1. Jim Edmonds has just hit his 17th for the Cubs. They've tied it up 7-7 in the 7th. They were down 7-3 in the 6th for the Cubbies. A little gas left in that tank for Edmonds, huh?
Yeah, and
the 3-1 pitch. 3-2. If you weren't with us yesterday, we talked about David Freese, who was picked up by the Cardinals from San Diego in the Edmonds deal, and Dan Radisson was raving about Freese.
He told me that made huge strides. He's 25 home runs, 90+ RBIs.
Pujols hits a rope foul.
And I just thought that he was basically a, you know, just a body. And because he was like 26, 27 and only playing in A-ball.
St. Louis ties.
Yeah.
Throw in.
Was he from Lafayette or West County? But it was Lafayette. But you know, you kind of thought that because of his age and not being above A-ball. He skips Double-A and then has a very solid season at Triple-A.
3-2 pitch to Albert, and he lays off the pitch. So a 2-out walk. Petit has walked 3. Coca-Cola and Walmart want you to meet the Cardinals Thursday, September 4th from 3 until 5. Fans are welcome at the Walmart in Gravois Bluff. That's going to be it for Petit. It's located in Fenton, and you can meet Andy Benes and Fredberg. The first 250 fans in line will be guaranteed to meet Andy and Fredberg, so come to meet a Cardinal at Walmart. 5-0 in favor of St. Louis. In honor of the Mad Hungarian. Cardinals have hit 3 home runs tonight. Those youngsters having some fun. The playground here at the ballpark. Also the swimming pool. There's a look at Doug Slayton. He's our Chevrolet call to the bullpen. The lefty to face Rick Ankiel. And the first pitch is swung on and missed by Rick.
Lefties are batting .224 against this left-handed pitcher that just recalled from the disabled list as he had a bad right knee.
Ankiel is 0 for 1 against this lefty with a strikeout. Now in the hole, 0-2.
See a pretty good breaking ball.
Rick on the night has struck out swinging back in the first and walked in the fourth. A short lead at first by Albert Pujols, and here comes the 0-2 pitch to Rick. Got him to chase, and he struck him out on 3 pitches. Cardinals have stranded 2, and they lead it 5-0 midway through 5. Cardinal baseball tonight has been brought to you by Ricoh. Move your ideas forward with Ricoh dependability. And by your Missouri, Illinois Dodge dealers. Miguel Montero, Chris Young, and Alex Romero for the Diamondbacks. Wainwright has allowed just 1 base hit. And ahead of the count most of the night. Pitch count has been low. The 1 hit, a double by Connor Jackson back in the 4th.
1 hit, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts.
Cardinals under Tony La Russa since 2000 for the most part, except in recent history, have been a club that in September has finished strong. 19-9 in 2000, 0-1, 17-5, 0-2, 21-6. Those were years, of course, they made it into postseason play. Made it in 04 and 05. Last couple of years, though, it's been a different story. And a strikeout on the curveball of Montero. Boy, Wainwright is sharp tonight.
He really is. Best we've seen him in quite a while. And you just like the pace of this game.
6th strikeout. Here's the curveball.
See the way he's got it gripped, and this curveball, Montero just can't pull the trigger. Foot was inching up there, but his hand stayed back and couldn't pull the trigger. And another called strike.
Here's Young, and he looks at a strike on the outside corner. A night like tonight, Al, it just teases you. It's a night of what if. What if Wainwright doesn't get hurt? What if Carpenter isn't hurt?
What if Mulder wasn't hurt?
Yeah.
What if Clement, you know, would have been healthy and worked out the way you envisioned? I mean, it's just, talked about it when we showed Wainwright and Carpenter. You know, Carpenter is going to be in the bullpen, but basically missed first 5 months. Wainwright misses 2.5 months. But he's picked up right where he left off. He's 7-3.
Carpenter, the Cy Young Award winning starter, now moonlighting as a reliever. There's a swing and a miss. Pitch that was diving down on the outside portion of the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
It's you know, his slider. So the curveball's working the slider. We haven't seen a whole lot of the changeup, but he's spotting his fastball on top of it.
Here's a 2-2. He got him on the outside corner. 7 on the night for Wainwright.
That's the slider.
And nothing, and I mean nothing, has been over the middle of the plate tonight.
Well, they just, you know, really don't want any part of it. Just good slider, cutter, whatever you want to call it. Got the curveball is much bigger, and he's dealing.
Romero up the middle, handled easily by Lopez. A quick 1-2-3 for Wainwright. Coming up, Ludwig, Molina, and Lopez. Wainwright is cruising. The Cardinals lead it 5-0 after 5. Sunday Sports Block. It all starts with the Best Damn Top 50, followed by baseball's Golden Age. Then it's amazing sports stories, and finally it's a classic IFL Light Heavyweight Championship showdown. The Sunday Sports Block, 4 great shows in a row, beginning Sunday at 7 here on FSN. Here's Ludwig. He's had a tough night, 0 for 2. First pitch by Slayton, the lefty, in relief of Petit, is taken for a ball. Petit, 4 2/3, 4 hits, 5 runs, all earned on 3 home runs. He walked 3 and struck out 5. 2 balls, no strikes.
And you really do want to see Ludwig not only get the 1 more RBI for 100, but keep that batting average over 300. It's at 301 now as he struggled on this road trip. But we know he can get hot again.
And I'm sure to Ludwig, as important as all those stats, is to show the baseball world, the people that have followed him, that he can stay healthy for a full year.
Sure. And I mean, it's just been a remarkable season. And you got to remember, he's probably wearing down a little bit, too.
And Ludwig hits it out to left. That'll 1-hop over the wall, and that was over the head of Connor Jackson. And he's into second base with another double, his 3rd in this series.
His 34th of the season.
The hitter will be the Cardinals catcher, Yadier Molina, who's lined out and hit into a 2-run homer.
That'll help that batting average. His 34th double. He's became the 17th Cardinal to hit at least 30 home runs in a season. And if he can get to the century mark, 1 RBI away from there, and maintain that batting average over 300, to be the 10th Cardinal in their history to have a 330 and 100 RBIs.
It's something that also has been important for Ludwig, who has been leading the Cardinals in this department, like Albert has done so many years, is lead the club in runs scored.
Let's get to 100 in that area also. Nothing wrong with that. It just helps you win.
Molina squaring, and the bunt is down. How about that? Up by 5. Molina is going to wind up being safe on the air.
Oh, Slayton didn't have any idea of the foot speed on Molina.
Oh, man.
As he looks to third to see if he can get the lead runner, Ludwig couldn't get that, and just assumed that Molina was going to be, safe at first. Watch him here. He'll look towards third, but he fails to pick it up. Now and Molina's not even halfway, and he just assumed that he was going to be there and could have had the out at first base. Gets the bunt down. Here you'll see that in his effort to kind of look to third, he fails to connect, and Slayton is through. Got the 1 out, but couldn't get it out here in the 6th.
So to be 1st and 3rd, nobody out. And Felipe Lopez, who is homered tonight, he'll dig in. Cardinals have a lead of 5-0 as we're in the top of the 6th. Runners at 1st and 3rd. It's now time for the AT&T Your World moment. Felipe Lopez has delivered not once but twice. Homered in game 1 and is homered here in game number 2 as he and Yadier Molina went back-to-back in the 4th inning. It's a double switch for Bob Melvin, and the new pitcher is Leo Rosales, and our Chevrolet called to the bullpen, his 23rd appearance of the season, a record of 1-0, ERA that's just over 4. Felipe Lopez, nobody out.
Lopez, a switch hitter. And lefties are batting .364 off of Rosales. Righties .250.
Rosales is in the 8th spot in the lineup. And then in the 9th spot, you've got Jeff Salazar, who takes over in right field. Molina reads it off to second and safe. Good slide. He slid to the outside portion of the bag, avoided the tag. Heads up play by Yadi. Now he's in scoring position.
Now in the dirt. Nice block, but Montero pounces on it. It's a high throw, and that allowed Yadi to get right to the bag on the outfield side ahead of Drew's tag.
A wild pitch, and now the infield is drawn in. The outfield is straight away for Felipe Lopez, who's also grounded out to second base. The 1-0 pitch. This could bust the game wide open with the way that Wainwright is throwing. A couple of more RBIs, and maybe you can put it away. Leo Salazar. Molina is the runner at second base. Ludwig over third. Just joined us. The Cardinals picked up 5 runs on 3 home runs tonight. The first, a 2-run shot by Gloss, his 22nd. That was back in the 3rd. The Cardinals went back-to-back with Yadier Molina and Felipe Lopez in the 4th inning. And now they'll just intentionally walk Lopez with first base open, load him up, and face Adam Wainwright. But Wainwright can swing the bat, although tonight he's 0 for 2 with a strikeout, and he's also grounded out to short. Wainwright came into tonight's game at a .255 clip. And the bases are loaded.
I don't think we ever mind seeing Adam up there swinging.
4th walk that the Cardinals have received tonight. And Wainwright will help his own cause. Down into the corner it goes. 2 runs will score. Lopez held up at third. It's 7-0 St. Louis on the bases loaded double by Adam Wainwright.
Didn't take long, did it? The way he swung the bat. And a hanging off-speed pitch right up there in his eyes, and he went ripping over the third baseman. Yadi's going to score. Holds up Lopez, and Adam trots in with a double.
Here's Izturis, the 9th place hitter, and he takes a strike at the knees. Back in the 3rd, he walked his first time up, came around to score in the homer by Gloss, and he's also grounded out sharply to David Eckstein at second. Again, in this situation, the infield is drawn in. The 0-1 pitch, make it 0-2. Diamondbacks can only blame themselves for this inning. Leadoff double by Ludwig, and then the Cardinals were handing you an out with Molina sacrificing the error by Slayton. Then the intentional walk after the wild pitch. And now Izturis is hit. Bases remain loaded and still nobody out. Barry Weinberg, the Cardinals trainer, out to check on Izturis. Tony La Russa watching intently what's taking place here.
Brian Price, their pitcher, out to talk to Rosales, and there you see the ball up and in, right up on the elbow or slightly above it.
I can't remember, Al, but which elbow it was or slightly above the elbow it was earlier this year with Izturis, and he had to miss some time because of it. Where he was hit by a pitch first month or so.
I'm trying to remember if it was right or left-handed.
Yeah.
I think it was right-handed. But
I think so too. I think you're right. So bases loaded, nobody out. And here's Skip Schumacher. It seems like years ago that took place.
It was.
Man, runners in scoring position. Schumacher is a .323 hitter this year. And that pitch is up for ball 1. There were 26 home runs hit throughout Major League Baseball yesterday, and we had 8 of them in game 1 of this series, and 3 more here tonight. Took some off the pitch. Schumacher is 0 for 3 on the night.
I'm not sure if he's got a splitter or what he's got, but he's got something funky, but it hasn't worked very often.
A lot of pitches up.
Well, that's what I mean. It's the pitch he wants to throw. He wants the bottom to fall out of it, and it's not.
1-1 pitch. 1-2. Showed that graphic of our This State of Baseball history of Bob Gibson as he picked up his 20th win of his 1968 season. His 12th complete game shutout.
That was the year he had the 1.12 ERA.
268 strikeouts.
He was 22-9 that year.
Double play ball, 4-6-3. Run was scored. Now to put it in comparison, like we said before, a lot of people are saying, well, Brandon Webb here in Arizona, as a run scores to make it 8-0, might win the Cy Young Award. Well, Brandon Webb, to compare it, is an ERA nearly 2 runs higher, and he's 25 complete games short of Bob Gibson right now.
And I can remember.
I mean, that's just amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, I can remember guys in the 70s that would win 20 games or have high win total in the teens and have an ERA in the 4s, and people just said, well, he can't pitch.
Right. Now it's commonplace. You know, Webb feels that he's corrected something with his motion. His last 2 starts and trying to get that 20th win, he's been pounded. Feels he's not getting on top of his sinker. If you don't get on top of that pitch, it's flat, and watch out.
And that's what gives up a lot of runs is high sinkers. And so he is right there that it's not being effective.
1 ball, 1 strike on Gloss, who is 2 for 3. And he cranks one out down the line, left field, and it is a foul ball.
We got replay play if you guys need it.
Why not? I think we'd be the first, wouldn't we?
I haven't heard of anybody yet.
Clearly foul.
Oh, let's see a replay.
Clearly foul, Al. Hal McRae was saying this was the guy to watch out for tonight. He knew it was coming. And Gloss is right there. The couple of base hits. The 1-2 in the dirt. Our catcher tonight, Montero, is getting beat up. Cubbies are tied with Houston 7-7, top of the 9th. The Mets in the 10th inning lead Milwaukee 6-5.
As odd as it is, if you're a Cardinal fan, you got to root for the Cubs to win.
It's painful for you to say that.
I mean, it's no, it's not. I mean,
oh, Al.
I mean, they're a
I've
good
heard
ball club.
All I hear from you year after year is your dislike, your disdain of the Cubs, and now you're saying that you got to hope that the Cubs win. And I know that's the right thing to say. It just has to be hard for you to say it.
I'm saying it. You know, Houston is on the heels of the Cardinals, and I think it's safe to say if the Cardinals cannot win the division, but if they're going to be a factor in postseason, it's going to be as a wild card. So root for the Mets and root for, you know, the Cubbies to beat Houston, keep them off the Cardinals' back.
Diamondbacks traded away Scott Hairston, by the way, to get Rosales, who we see on the mound right here, and now he's in trouble, or asking for it, with Pujols digging in with 2 runners on. First pitch is taken in the dirt for a ball. Remember what happened with the Phillies last year. Look what happened with Colorado.
Yeah, but you know, you think you're going to get 11 games, 20 games?
I'm not saying that. I'm just talking about teams that have made great runs to get into postseason
so
play.
That's why you look at the wild card.
No, I would say the Cardinals have 0 chance of catching the Cubs. I would say their chances of getting into the wild card have been decreased because
sure
of
they are.
what's taken place over the weekend. But you look at what happened, like I said, with Colorado running off their winning streak. The Cardinals haven't done that yet this year.
Loesch was with Philadelphia as he saw what a late surge, and they were down to picked up 7 games. I think it's 17 games left.
Right. 3-0 on Pujols with 2 on and 2 outs.
And the Mets beat Milwaukee.
Not even close. Back-to-back walks. And they are loaded for Rick Ankiel. Third walk in the inning, the 6th in the ballgame, handed to St. Louis. Rick Ankiel with 25 home runs. He's 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. 71 RBIs. And batting .268. Let's see if he jumps on this first pitch, or will he take a strike? Check swing, and it's been a tough inning for Montero. He's taken wild pitches, check swings, foul tips.
Foul tip right there.
And the 0-1. This crowd a bit restless now with the way that Rosales has come in, and basically Ali hasn't been around the plate.
Well, he got 1 ground ball for a double play, but hit a batter. He's walked 3, one of those intentional, and given up a 2-run double to the pitcher.
Here's a 1-1. Took some off the pitch. 1-2. One and 2 on Rick Ankiel. Outfield is straight away and deep. Another changeup, just got a piece. Runner at second base, and let's see if we can pick up the signs. And that just missed. Wow.
Wow. Good eye, Rick.
In the dirt, 3-2.
Well, any close call will not go the Diamondbacks or Rosales' way. When you've walked 3 and really struggled with your command, you're not going to get any close calls.
Ludwig on deck. The 3-2 pitch. And Ankiel pops up. Shallow right center. Eckstein takes charge, makes the play. A big offensive inning for the Cardinals. They send 9 to the plate, and it all started with a double from Ryan Ludwig. Wainwright with the bases loaded. That would score 2. The Cardinals score 3, and they lead it 8-0. FSN is the home of Big 12 football, and tomorrow at 6:30 we preview all of the week's games on Big 12 Showcase. Big 12 Showcase football preview show Wednesday at 6:30 on FSN Midwest. And again, we want to remind you we have our pay-per-view on FSN for Missouri football this weekend against Southeast Missouri State. You can call your local cable or satellite provider for Missouri football this weekend.
I know what'll make those calls happen real quick. You'll be doing the play-by-play.
got all kinds of folks that'll be part of that epic telecast against Southeast Missouri State. We're looking forward to it. Should be a lot of fun down in Columbia. Here's Salazar, first plate appearance, part of the double switch, and he takes a ball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Long inning for Adam Wainwright, but remember, he was on the bases, and a lot of times if you run the bases, you're taking a bat in a long inning, you kind of keep yourself in fluid and going.
That's a base hit past Albert Pujols into the corner. Just the second hit on the night for the Diamondbacks. It's going to wind up being a triple for Salazar.
Looked like it got hung up underneath the padding or something. It's beyond our sight lines, but Ludwig was waiting for the carom, and then he had to race in and retrieve that ball.
The Cardinals do have activity in their bullpen.
I see you get hung up. Now he has to race in and retrieve it and go pick it up.
I believe
Guess who it's Carpenter.
Yeah, it's Chris Carpenter throwing.
How about that?
Get him up, get him loose, get him plenty of time to get loose.
We were talking about what a perfect scenario, to have a great starting assignment from Wainwright, have a big lead, and then you can bring in Carpenter and probably this first outing would only be 1, and he's warming up for next inning. He would not start, or he would not come in the middle of an inning. So he's warming up for the 7th.
Here's Stephen Drew. And Drew cranks one out to right.
Momentum behind Ludwig.
Makes the catch, fires in, hits the cutoff man.
Ludwig, because that ball, he had a chance to really have his momentum behind him, come racing in on this ball. Now, it is a 8-0 lead, but he's going out there thinking it's a 1-run game, and he's not going to do it. Chip Hale, the third base coach, decided that he wasn't going to send Salazar and run the risk of him being thrown out.
David Eckstein, a chance to get the Diamondbacks on the board. Eckstein is grounded out to short. He's also flied to center 0 for 2.
Picked up a couple RBIs in yesterday's ball game. The first one, a sac fly, and then later on he drove in a run with a base hit.
Short lead at third. Eckstein to the right side and a base hit. Picks up the RBI, and it's 8-1.
Knows how to play the game, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Attention high school students and guidance counselors. The Cardinals are hosting the 4th annual Career Day Thursday, September 25th against Arizona. And prior to that game, it's an afternoon game. There will be a program featuring Cardinals executives and front office personnel giving details on careers in sports. For more information, call 345-9500. Again, 345-9500. First run for Arizona. Only their third hit against Wainwright as we play with 1 out and a runner at first base here in the bottom of the 6th. Here's Connor Jackson.
Now Ron Vallone has gotten up throwing in the bullpen, so he would be a guy to come to finish an inning, and you got Dunn on deck.
And like you said, Al, late season, you're up 8-1. No need to push Wainwright, and this would be the perfect scenario to get Carpenter in.
Yeah, and I mean, and there's also, I haven't said it before, but I noticed before the game, Adam really had a hot pack on his lower back, and I made mention when I saw him later how stiff he was walking. And he said, yeah, I'm stiff, but wasn't looking for any excuse. He's pitched very well, but, maybe with that long inning, remember, he was stranded at third base. Out there, he may have stiffened up a bit. This is how he pitches when he's got a little
yeah, good point.
We'll take it every time, won't we?
If he's 100%, should be a no-hitter.
And and still, this is still coming back off the missing 10 weeks with his finger injury. He's done his job tonight if he gets through this 6th inning.
Love the double play here on a 2-1 pitch. Instead, a strike on the outside corner, 2-2. Jackson didn't like the call. It's 2-2. Diamondbacks, of course, made it to the National League Championship Series a year ago and fell to a red-hot Colorado Rockies team.
Milwaukee loses 6-5 to the Mets. So Phillies pick up a game on the wild card. Can the Cardinals?
LA leads San Diego 7-0. That's in the 5th.
That's a big game because they trailed the Diamondbacks by 2.5. They could get to 1.5, and they have a big weekend series in LA coming up.
San Francisco has come back against the Rockies and tied it up 5-5. That's in the 10th. Here's a 2-2 pitch to Jackson. Molina liked that pitch as he motioned back to Wainwright. Cubs and Astros tied up 7-7. That's in the bottom of the 9th. Atlanta, a well-pitched game, leads Florida 16-14. Now that's become a final. Adam Dunn on deck. The 3-2 pitch is a fly ball down the right field line. Ludwig won't get to it. It's a foul ball. Foul by a couple of feet. Inning started with a triple by Jeff Salazar, and then a fly out by Drew Eckstein with the base hit and RBI, his 3rd in the past 2 games. 3-2 pitch and a walk. Will this be it for Wainwright? And the lefty getting loose. He would figure to face Adam Dunn.
He had him there, but I think Tony was hoping, and he's going to go to the bullpen right now. He wanted Wainwright to get through it.
So Malone looks like he'll come in to face Adam Dunn. Here he comes. 8-1 here at Chase Field in favor of the Cardinals. Cardinals about hit the Diamondbacks 6-3. And Ron Malone will take over for the Redbirds. 60th appearance, a record of 1-2. We saw both lefties appear, Al, game 1 of the series, and both walked hitters.
Ron Malone's wife on the left, Ann Keels on the right, watching their husbands play. I think now, after Tony with a quick hook, that maybe that back is a bigger issue than what I thought.
Dunn 1 for 18 against Ron Malone with 6 strikeouts.
And Springer is now throwing in the bullpen, so more than likely this is the one appearance, one batter appearance for Ron Malone.
Now Springer is up. Dunn fouls it back.
Ron Malone, as you mentioned, he and Flores both walked Dunn, and then Malone got himself ejected in yesterday's game.
I wonder how comfortable Tony would feel now in trying to get Carpenter up later in the game after he's already been up once.
No. Carpenter's warming up for next inning. He'd start the inning.
But I don't see him throwing right now. So
because he's going at his own pace.
I understand that, Al.
He's got all next half inning.
Okay, you got it, Al.
He's a reliever now.
Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Dunn. Again, just one hit against Malone. Eckstein has the only RBI of the night. Nice stab by Jose Oquendo in the Cardinal dugout.
Still got the good hands. Reached out. Snared that ball. Also has good judgment on the velocity of the foul ball. Pretty good at bat by Adam Dunn.
Two and two.
And out to talk to Ron. Strikeouts way down for Adam Dunn this year, only 137.
Two pitch. Well, the first time tonight, this crowd has gotten into it a little bit for the Diamondbacks.
Throw the fastball or throw a good slider down the way.
And he got him. Got him to chase and a pitch out of the zone and a big strikeout.
Throws the fastball and he just goes after a pitch that's out of the strike zone and gets himself out. So looks like Springer will come in and face Mark Reynolds as Vallone does his job against Big Adam Dunn. So we'll take a break as the Cardinals are leading 8-1, but we're still here in the sixth. 39-year-old Russ Springer comes into this ball game. Runners at first and second. 8-1 lead. There's two outs. He'll fix Mark Reynolds, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout against Springer. Appearing for 44th time. He's only allowed, he's got 14 holes. He's appearing for the 61st time. He's retired 39 of those first 60 first batters, and he's inherited 43 runners prior to tonight, and only 10 have scored. Springer still possesses that good fastball, good slider, and very comfortable pitching in these situations. It's ahead with fastball down and away. Springer's allowed just 7 earned runs his last 52 outings for an ERA of 1.67. Reynolds struck out both times tonight against Wainwright, who finished with 7 strikeouts and only 3 hits allowed and 2 walks. Fastball down and in. Count 1-1. Reynolds, 309 hitter with runners in scoring position, and only 224 against right-handed pitching.
Count of 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 outs, and that pitch is taken low and away. 8-1 Cardinals thanks to the home runs tonight. Troy Gloss, a 2-run shot in the third, 2-run homer by Molina, solo shot by Lopez. Those two went back to back. Tony La Russa using his bullpen here in the 6th inning with 2 outs. Runners at first and second. A 2-1 pitch here to Mark Reynolds coming up, who has struck out twice, but that was against Wainwright. Wainwright struck out 7 on the night. That's pop foul out of play. 2 strikes. 2-2 is the count.
Plus nearly a strikeout per inning. And really it's been his role this year is to come in the middle of an inning, finish it up, and pretty much say his night is through. And he's done a very good job at doing so.
Montero is the hitter on deck. 2-2 pitch from Russ Springer, the former Diamondback. Up and in. So Wainwright can only win this game. If he does, it'll be his 8th of the season. Three-two pitch. Runners go, and it's popped up. Near the dugout, Pujols leans in, and he got it. What a catch from Albert Pujols to end the inning. Outstanding play from Pujols to end the inning. We head to the 7th. Desiree Tiemann is tonight's merchandise winner in the Hyundai Long Drive Inning Sweepstakes. If the Cardinals hit a home run, Desiree Tiemann qualifies for the Hyundai Sonata drawing in September. To register, visit a St. Louis area Hyundai dealer. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cardinals. Here's Ryan Ludwig to lead it off against a right-hander, Hyland Peguero, who we saw yesterday, and he played a real key role for the Diamondbacks in their win.
Came in with the bases loaded and 2 outs, relieved Randy Johnson. Got out of that inning with no further damage, and then a 1-2-3 inning to follow up on it.
One ball, 1 strike on Ludwig. Cardinals batted around in the top of the 6th. Ludwig with a double and an RBI in the ball game yesterday. Had a pair of doubles. Tonight he is 1 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. Max Linewand, our famous post-game show producer, tells us that Ricky Horton is going to come back from the future. This is apparently a feature that's a little bit better than the Shakespeare night they had in the studio.
I heard he had another costume.
I don't know about the costume, but I know he's coming back from the future, and he's going to tell us about the next 20 years in Cardinal baseball coming up on the post-game show.
Well, if he doesn't have a costume for it, you know, it's not vintage Ricky.
I'm sure he does.
You know, he looks into the past on the pregame show during the 80s. His stories from the 80s.
Jim Hayes, what do you have for us?
Well, I can confirm that Rick Horton will be wearing a costume tonight. Max Linewand worked all night on putting together a futuristic ensemble for Mr. Horton, so it should be good.
Have any details?
I think it's a lot of tin foil and Scotch tape.
What do you think 20 years is going to tell us? We have any ideas?
Well, they were asking for suggestions on things I thought that were going to happen, and I took a pass, to be honest with you, Dan.
Tony still here?
No, Tony's not going to last that long. He's going to retire and get reacquainted with his schnauzers out west.
3-2 pitch, and that's fouled back by Ludwig. Apparently, Max tells us it is an outstanding costume he has put together.
I am very glad I'm not qualified for the post-game show.
3-2 pitch, and Ludwig lays off it for a leadoff walk. Anytime you want to qualify yourself.
No. Ricky's the costume man.
Here's Yadier Molina. Reached on an air back in the 6th, scored a run. He has a 2-run homer. He's lined out. Just a couple of years ago that we saw Molina the bottom of the National League as far as hitting was concerned, and now this year it's been around the top 10. Strike 2.
Well, Molina is in the top 10. He's got a 13-game hitting streak going now. Hit his 2nd home run in as many games.
Oh, 2 pitch to Molina. Carpenter has been throwing up for the 2nd time. Getting loose for his appearance, we presume, in the 7th.
Figueroa has his first name is pronounced Highland, and he has a daughter who he has named Highland.
My brother Daryl and my other brother Daryl. Here's a double play. Could take their time. With Molina running, easy double play turn.
Got a man on first base, you turn around and you find out who's covering, and this is an absolutely perfect lead to your shortstop. Right over the bag, chest high, and right where he can get the ball and no wasted motion, be able to throw it.
Here's Felipe Lopez with 2 outs. He is homered here tonight. Homered in game 1 of the series and hits a rocket past David Eckstein and into right field. 3rd time he's been on base, to go along with intentional walk as well.
Well, he hit 245 with Washington and better than 360 with the Cardinals. The switch hitter, former All-Star, Silver Slugger Award winner. Josh Phelps hitting now for Springer.
First pitch a little bit low. There's Carpenter getting loose. He'll take over in the bottom of the 7th. Phelps fouls it back. A tremendous year for Josh Phelps in the minor leagues. And here in September, it's a chance for him to showcase himself not only to the Cardinals but for other teams as well.
Excellent point. 291 average, 31 home runs, 97 RBIs. Been with 6 different organizations. He hit very well last year, splitting time between the Yankees, and particularly when he was with Pittsburgh. what hurts him in the Cardinals system is he is a first baseman, and he can catch.
Phelps out to center, and it's time to stretch. Catch is made by Young. Carpenter coming in. (8-1) St. Louis. Brought to you by Jack in the Box. It's 8-1 in favor of the Cardinals. We'll highlight Adam Wainwright, the kind of night that he had. He was terrific. As Wainwright strikes out 7 for the Cardinals, he's in line for the victory if the Redbirds can hold on. He's 7-3 with an ERA just over 3, and now Cardinals hand it over to Chris Carpenter, who cut short a bullpen session on Sunday. He was going to throw around 60 pitches. He threw 40. For this particular reason, he wanted to throw in this series. He said, there's no reason for me to keep throwing on the side. I feel good. So now working on the bullpen, and it's the first time he's ever thrown out of the bullpen for the Cardinals. He has not made a relief appearance for St. Louis, and it's been since 2000 that he's been in the bullpen. At that time, it was with Toronto.
He made 144 starts between relief appearances.
2-1 pitch from Carpenter. Now the question is, Al, how long do you want to go with Chris?
Well, Tony kind of spoke in terms of only having him go 1 inning for the first couple times coming out of the bullpen. But he may like what he sees out there.
Works quickly. The 2-2 pitch is a curveball and a foul ball. Carpenter is doing this for not only to help the team, but for peace of mind going into the offseason too.
That's the most important thing when he's rehabbed so much, and you know, you just have to want a normal offseason. See, he's got pretty good command on both sides of the plate and with all of his pitches.
He says he feels good. The Cardinals gave him the okay. The doctors have said all right.
Made 3 starts, then he came out of that last one about 3 weeks ago.
It's a line shot and a base hit down the left field line off the bat of Miguel Montero.
It's his first hit in the first 2 games of the series. Going out there, good sinking action, but the lefty just puts it in play and stays fair down in the left field corner for a double.
Chris Young, the hitter, he's 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. It's pretty amazing to see Carpenter come back and, even missing as much time as he did, still pitch effectively. He was very good.
And that's why it was just sort of shocking after the Tommy John surgery that another injury popped up, and thankful it wasn't shoulder or elbow. It was in the back of the shoulder, kind of the tricep area, muscle strain.
Arizona is just 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position tonight. Runner at second base, Montero. The 1-1 pitch. Curveball in the dirt. 2-1.
Is a little bit different when throwing in the bullpen or on the side, facing big league hitters.
Here's a 2-1 pitch from Carpenter. Tails in there for a strike.
93 miles an hour, but Chris is such a great competitor, and he'll get the adrenaline flowing with a man in scoring position and trying to protect the lead.
The 2-2 pitch.
Tony Clark on deck to pinch hit.
And that's a base hit out to left. Montero held up at third, and the first two have reached here against Carpenter in the bottom of the seventh. A double, a single, and now Tony Clark. Clark was used after Upton was hit over at first base on a pickoff play. He became a pinch runner, stayed the ball game at first base. It really could have been a move out that almost cost the Diamondbacks.
Cost him a run as he was held up on third on Stephen Drew's fifth hit, a double, which should have been a triple. And when he went out to play first base, he kind of really didn't take charge on a ground ball and allowed it to be a base hit. It's only a 2-run lead at that time, so it brought up the potential tying run at the plate, but they held on for the 8-6 victory.
Clark is hitting .220 as a pinch hitter with 1 home run this year, 13 hits off the bench, and fouls it back.
Second stint with Arizona as he came over in a trade from San Diego this summer.
One and two the count. And a broken bat. That is.
He's called it not a
double
catch.
Play. It's not a catch. Throw to
throw
first.
it to first base.
He has signaled that it's not a catch, correct?
Yeah, but you know, the umpires are waiting for the Cardinals to react. The second base umpire, Bill Hahn, said it wasn't a catch. I think he was wrong. It's a little weird, isn't it?
He signaled a hit.
Yeah,
well, not a hit, but that it was not a catch.
And he got it right. He got it wrong. But look at, he's the closest one to it. Says he puts the arms out and says he didn't catch it. So he gets it
out. There's a double play. And then he looked to be asking for help from the first base umpire, or even, like you said, looking for reaction from the Cardinals.
Now, Dale Scott, the first base umpire, must have overruled it and said it wasn't. Well, Tony Scott is Clark is on first base, so it wasn't a catch. You got the force out.
The pitch missed a little bit low to Salazar.
Confused on that one, aren't you?
Yes, I am. He was part of a double switch. His second plate appearance, 1 ball, 1 strike. Salazar tripled down the right field line his first time up. But that's that pitch right there that is so tough from Carpenter on the left-handed hitters. The pitch that starts at their knees and then tails back in the strike zone. They give up on it.
Yeah, it's just, you see that movement just back to the strike zone. And remember, what's also key is he has a good slider that he'll run in on the lefty, so that's what they think it is, and then it tails, the fastball tails back. There's the slider coming in. Carpenter won the swing charge to Salazar, but they said he held up. Salazar is 2 for 2 against the Cardinals in this series.
Two-two pitch. Got him. Bottom dropped out of the pitch. So there's 2 outs after the first 2 had reached with base hits, and that's just how good Carpenter is. He can pitch himself out of trouble.
Swinging way over the top of that.
He missed that by half foot, didn't he?
Yeah.
Here's Stephen Drew. Drew is 0 for 3. He's flied to left. He's grounded out to third and also flied out to right.
Third ball here to Drew for ball 1. But just that Carpenter, man, he's just a horse. Just love to watch him compete.
And a grounder hit to short. He's going to get out of the trouble and not give up a run. Diamondbacks strand 2, and it sends us to the 8th. 8-1 Cardinals. Cardinals baseball on FSN Midwest is brought to you by Smooth Bush Beer and Easy Drinking Bush Light, and by Chevrolet. See for yourself. Shop and compare at stlchevy.com. Attendance tonight, 27,568. And the Cardinals have an 8-1 lead behind 7 hits tonight. Both teams have left 6 runners on. Here's a former Cub, Juan Cruz. 47th appearance. 2-0 is his record, and an ERA that's just over 3 in his 41 innings.
He's pitched very well for them. 5th in the National League and 12th in the majors among relievers with a 186 opponent batting average. He leads the majors among relievers with 13.39 strikeouts per 9 innings, 61 Ks in 41 innings.
Astros have taken a 9-7 lead over the Cubs. That's in the 11th inning. Mentioned that the Mets beat Milwaukee 6-5. Phillies over Washington 4-0. Atlanta over Florida 16-14. It's Kerry Wood that was in the game. It still looks like for Chicago. And I believe Carlos Zambrano was making the start. Juan Cruz, when he was in Chicago, was always a guy that was kind of a guy that just slinged the ball up there and threw pretty hard, mid-90s.
Zambrano was a scheduled starter, but remember he missed a start with kind of a tired arm. And they may claim it's tired again, but as you said, the pitcher record is Kerry Wood, and the Cubs are about to lose their 4th straight.
Asturias has been on base twice with a walk and run scored. He was also hit by a pitch in the 6th. And the count runs to 2 balls, 2 strikes. We're in the 8th. Asturias, Schumacher, and Gloss. If the Cardinals can hold on, pulled it within 5.5, and against Juan Cruz, Asturias is 5 for 15 in his career. Hits it down the left field line and foul out of play.
Carpenter's night is through, it appears, as Ryan Franklin is throwing in the pen.
Here's a 2-2 pitch. Popped up. Shallow center. Chris Young is there, and he makes the catch. Skip Schumacher, a rare 0 for 4 night. The Cardinals leadoff man. He's grounded to second. He's flied to left. Grounded to second again in the 5th. And grounded into a double play in the 6th. 0 for 4. Just a lazy night here in Phoenix, Arizona. Cardinals leading 8-1.
She's the lifeguard. Nobody in the pool. We assume.
Let's hope.
Or they can hold their breath.
They're not going to be swimming. Here's a 1-0 pitch. 2 balls, no strikes.
Schumacher has hit safely at 25 his last 32 games, coming in tonight at 360.
2-1. Troy Gloss on deck. Gloss with a home run tonight. Walk and a single on base 3 times. The 2-1 pitch to Skip. He had broken his bat. Grounded to the right side. Cruz is covering for out number 2. So 2 up, 2 down, and here's Troy Glaus. Played just 1 year here in Arizona.
And traded to Toronto for Orlando Hudson, their Gold Glove second baseman, who's out for the year with another hand injury.
Here's a 1-0 pitch. Taken in the dirt. Glaus's next home run will be number 300. Pujols picked up number 300 earlier this year against the Chicago Cubs at home at Busch Stadium. His home run earlier tonight, number 22 on the year. The 2-0 pitch. Stephen Drew. Over to Dunn. Cruz, an easy inning. All St. Louis tonight. It's 8-1. Eight to 1 in favor of the Cardinals as we move to the bottom of the 8th. And Ryan Franklin is in for St. Louis. His 63rd appearance of the year, as those appearances are starting to really pile up for Franklin and McClellan. Franklin pitched Sunday at Houston, 2/3 of an inning, gave up a hit, a run that was earned. He was 1-1 with a 2.84 ERA in August. And he will face David Eckstein. Be interesting to see the reception that Eckstein gets in St. Louis.
Well, I'm sure it'll be a very good one.
I'll be interested to see the reception that Jim Edmonds gets the second time through St. Louis.
I'm sure it'll be a very good one.
A strike at the knees to David. Singled and picked up an RBI in the 6th. He's also flied out to center and grounded out to short. 0-1 pitch. Lines it into right and foul. No balls and 2 strikes.
David's hit .370 in his last 13 games coming in. Had a .277 with the Jays, but when Cito Gaston took over, he got very little playing time. Rumored to be on his way. The Angels were one of the other teams that were looking for his services.
0-2 pitch. Lopez is there, gobbles it up. Eckstein hustling all the way down the line is the first out. Come to expect that, though, don't we? With David Eckstein hustling all the way.
Never get tired of it, do you? On his toes, running hard. Just looks good.
I don't think we ever saw him loaf, ever.
No, it's not in his vocabulary or in his makeup.
1 out, nobody on. Connor Jackson takes a ball. Who do you like out of the West? You take a look at 2 teams that everyone's talking about for the most part, the Diamondbacks, the Dodgers, and still in the conversation, Colorado.
I'd still have to, because of the starting pitching, and we really haven't seen good starting pitching in the first 2 games, but with Webb and Herron, Randy wasn't very good yesterday. Johnson, that's going to stop good hitting.
Thing was, Arizona could have put away the Dodgers for the most part. Dodgers went on a road trip. They didn't win. And the Diamondbacks, though, in their last 10 games, 3-7.
Yeah. The Dodgers had lost 8 straight before they came in here. They lost the first game and then won the series. And they'll match up next weekend. in LA. So a lot to be determined. And maybe the Diamondbacks, maybe it was a good thing, you know, losing those 2 games and realizing that they got still a lot of work cut out for them. They battled back in yesterday's game against the Cardinals.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Connor Jackson with 1 out, nobody on. Saw Franklin throw that knuckleball when we were in Chicago, and he threw it a couple appearances after that. Really haven't seen it since.
Not that we can recall. And
3-2 the count.
sometimes just having the opposition know you have a knuckleball is good enough.
And that's one of the things that Franklin talked about, that knowing that video is out there and how teams scout, that would be part of the report. Just another pitch for a batter to worry about. 3-2 on Jackson.
It's like playing with Gaylord Perry in the spitter. You know, he didn't throw anywhere near as many as people thought or hitters thought. Those scouts up there watching, taking note of every little nuance. Or
this low and away. There's a foul ball just moments ago, and look who caught it.
I don't know if he caught it, but he retrieved it. But
he got it.
I think she got it. she
got it back. Maybe Dave Duncan has seen something here with Franklin.
Well, just, you know, 8-1 and the Milwaukee guy, and that just kind of I think opens the gate.
You know, you're thinking about a time maybe to get Mott some work, expose him to the big leagues. First appearance. This might be one of those games.
I would be very interesting to see, and I think it's also important, Dan. You know, when you got a guy like Mott, even if it was your major league debut, but what better if a guy's going to be a late inning guy to have him close out a ninth inning in a victory?
Runner goes from first as Pujols did not hold him on. Jackson in scoring position. And that has been Mott's role in the minor leagues. A converted catcher, throws extremely hard. I asked Tony about him before the game, and he said, yeah, we liked what we saw in spring training, and he's made a quick rise from AA to AAA and now here to the major leagues. It's one thing that the Cardinals have done is Adam Dunn hits it into right, and he'll pick up the RBI. A single for Dunn makes it 8-2. But the Cardinals, Al, have tried to push through some of the young talent a little bit quicker than maybe in years past.
Yeah, it's to me, it's, you know, sometimes you got to press it. And I'm not sure if you say necessarily the big leagues, but moving some guys from A ball to AA. There's Jason Mott right there. The one thing, Chris Perez has not pitched since the Milwaukee series. So you don't want him to be, you know, that was last Wednesday, the last time he pitched. So he needs to get some work just to tune up.
And Franklin needs a double play. Mark Reynolds 0 for 3, couple of strikeouts against Ryan Franklin, and he's 0 for 3 tonight. Fouled out in his last plate appearance in the 6th. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Backed him off the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Had to like what you seen out of Carpenter tonight. Gave up a pair of base hits. And then with first and third, nobody out, gets out of the jam and no runs allowed.
Just that competitive nature took over. And so you like what you saw from Wainwright, Carpenter, Springer, Vallone. Everybody's pitched well.
Now, if the circumstances align themselves the way that Tony likes, when do you think you can bring Carpenter back to pitch again? What's the normal rest then for a guy like Carpenter? Treat it as a side session?
Well, at least 1 day and possibly 2, but I think 1 day should be sufficient. You know, like you said, they cut short Sunday's bullpen session, so he'd be ready for tonight.
Here's a 2-1 pitch. And a base hit.
Breaking ball up, just hit down up the middle. So after a ground out by Eckstein, a walk to Connor Jackson, RBI single by Dunn, Reynolds gets a base hit.
1 out, runners at first and second. Curveball and a strike. Ooh, pitch that's in.
They're stirring in the bullpen. It's like Chris Perez is starting to go to the mound.
That's hit out of play and foul. Roberto Clemente Award for a couple of these guys. This ball game, or at least here tonight, Brandon Webb nominated for the Diamondbacks and Albert Pujols for the St. Louis Cardinals. That's not just for what they do on the field, but their community service. And we know Albert is very active in St. Louis, and his golf tournament is coming up next week. Roush is in the Arizona pen. The Pujols Family Foundation awards money to children with Down syndrome throughout the Midwest, and also for impoverished families in the Dominican.
Cubs lose to Houston.
And that's pulled foul. So that final 9-7 in favor of the Houston Astros.
Colorado defeats San Francisco 6-5 in extra innings also.
1-2 the count. Of course, Roberto Clemente gave so much to so many. Life was cut short way too soon. Center field. And Dunn stays put at second base. It's quite an honor just to be nominated for the Clemente Award. For those of you that haven't had the privilege to see Albert out of his uniform and in street clothes and dealing with the Down Syndrome Association, or well, there's Brandon Webb in the middle, Dan Heron on the left, or some of the folks that have been fortunate enough to be helped by the work that he and his wife have done. It's pretty incredible to see. Done some pretty special things outside of the game of baseball.
And you think about what he does in his native land, where it's a team of doctors to go into the villages where they don't have any health care and take care of those children. Didi very involved with them, and many of those places they don't really know he's a ball player. They just know somebody helping out.
2 years ago they took dentists to the Dominican Republic. Last year was doctors. I believe the dentists are going back in this offseason. Here's a 1-1 pitch. 1-2 on Chris Young. Colorado holds on for a 6-5 win over San Francisco. So if this lead holds up, the Rockies just 5 games back of Arizona.
San Diego has closed the gap. It's 8-4 now. With LA leading. They could be a game and a half behind.
Cardinals would move to 5.5 behind Milwaukee in the wild card. Have to watch what the Phillies do. They won 4-0 over Washington. Here comes a 2-2 pitch to Chris Young. And a strikeout for Franklin. Gives up a run, but that sends us to the ninth. 8-2 in favor of the Cardinals.
Cardinals lead at 8-2 in Arizona. Don't forget, coming up after the game on the post-game edition of U.S. Cellular Cardinals Live, Pat Harris and Rick Horton will analyze why Adam Wainwright was so effective tonight. We'll get Tony La Russa's thoughts on tonight's game, as well as player reaction straight from the Cardinal clubhouse. And Rick Horton jumps into the time machine for a look at what Cardinal baseball will look like in the future. It's a sci-fi twist. It's coming up after the game, guys.
Here's Albert Pujols for the Cardinals here in the top of the ninth. John Roush is the pitcher. September 7th, the Pujols bobblehead day featuring the Cardinals first baseman, 6-time All-Star, courtesy of Train Commercial and Residential Air Solutions. You can visit us online at STOCardinals.com to find out more. Sunday, September 7th, the Cardinals and the Marlins. That's this weekend. Saw John Roush the ball game yesterday, 67th appearance. He's allowed runs 6 games in a row, which included yesterday afternoon. There's the curveball, pretty good one. One and two the count on Albert Pujols. Chops one foul to Jose Oquendo. Here's McClellan getting loose for the Cardinals. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Pujols, right center. Hangs out there for Young, but boy, did he hit that on the button. Rick Ankiel will be the hitter for St. Louis. 8-2 Cardinals. 2 runs in the third, 3 in the fourth, 3 more in the sixth on 7 hits. It's 7 hits aside. Cardinals have stranded 6. The Diamondbacks have stranded 8. They trail 8-2. Nick Stavinoa has moved to the on-deck circle. Pitch a little in from John Roush.
What's Roush? 6'11"?
6'11".
6'11", tallest player ever. Appear at major league level.
The Cardinals faced Randy Johnson at 6'10" yesterday. Roush at 6'11", then Tony Clark off the bench.
6'7", 245, but Roush looks like he's pushing 300, doesn't he?
He's a big man.
Makes Randy Johnson look like a rail.
You stand in there against him, he looks huge.
Stand on that mound. Add the 5 more inches to it.
3-0. 3-1.
Rick has not gotten off track to Arizona. He was 2 for 15 last year. He's 0 for 3 this year.
Three and 2 the count. Rick has struck out a couple of times. He has flied out and also walked in his second plate appearance, which was back in the 4th. 3 home runs for the Cardinals tonight.
Roush listed at 291. Oh.
Dunn has it. That's 2 pretty hard hit balls off of John Roush.
Yeah.
Nothing to show for it. Stabenow pinch hit for Ludwig, who had a double tonight.
Ludwig 1 for 3, also walked.
And Stabenow pops one foul. Johnson has moved to the on-deck circle.
And backup catcher that was recalled.
He's had some major league time, though.
His last at bat was against the Cardinals, I think in 04, when last day of the season when he came up with Milwaukee.
Here's the 0-1. There's the curveball and a strike. 1-2. Stabenow, high fly ball, shallow right center, sends us to the bottom of the ninth. 8-2 St. Louis. Our Budweiser player of the game, Budweiser, the great American lager. And we'll turn it over to Adam Wainwright, the Cardinals starter. Strikes out 7 tonight. Very efficient, Al, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. He really had a great game going as Wainwright only allowed 3 hits. He walked a pair, 7 strikeouts, and allows 1 earned run. Wholesale changes. Good way to describe what Tony has just done for his defense behind Chris Perez. New battery, Perez on the mound. You see his numbers. He hadn't pitched since last Wednesday, so he needs some work. He's throwing to Mark Johnson. Lopez moves from second to first. Brendan Ryan now playing second base. Barton is now at third base. Stabenow stays in the game to play right field. There they are.
There's your changes. 7 hits aside. Cardinals lead it by the score of 8-2 as the bottom of the ninth rolls in, and there's a fastball at 96 from Chris Perez.
Pinch hitter. This is Whitesell, Josh Whitesell.
0-1 pitch. Good slider that time by Perez.
Oh, good time to incorporate that as much as possible.
No better time to work on it. Get a little live action here. Cardinals, when they sent him down, had him throw a slider for every fastball. And they believe it's a lot better, that slider. Here's the 0-2. Blew it by him at 96. 3 pitches and a strikeout for Perez. That's a nice way to start. Jeff Salazar, a couple of plate appearances here tonight.
Whitesell was the guy that was at AAA, so, and big numbers at Pacific Coast League, so you know saw Chris Perez.
Couldn't pull the trigger. That pitch at 97. Chris Perez has struck out 35 in his 33 1/3 innings pitched with that last strikeout, and opponents only hitting .209 against him.
And they really didn't hit for a high average in the minor leagues against him. It was just prior to this year, he struggled a little bit with his control, but he's rectified that. Now he comes back here much more confident and pitching aggressively.
Confidence.
If you got talent and you got confidence, you can go a long way in this game. He has both.
Little tapper back to Perez. And there's 2 outs. So the Diamondbacks down to their final out in this 8-2 St. Louis lead.
And we really didn't talk about that Atlanta-Florida game.
All the fine pitching involved.
Yeah, 16-14. Atlanta wins.
Well, these games here for Arizona are so big. It's tough to figure out who he is a fan of over there.
Major League Baseball.
The Dodgers will face San Diego a handful of times down the stretch. Certainly that benefits LA. There's a strike at 97. Hit to short, and this should do it. Chris Perez comes in and has a 1-2-3 inning. The Cardinals hold on for an 8-2 win. As they pick up a win, their first on this road trip. 8-2 behind 3 home runs. Our final tonight.
Now the game is over, but Rick and I are ready to break this one down on U.S. Cellular Cardinals Live. That's the way to get a lead, keep a lead.
And the Cardinals get back on track with a victory, their first one on this road trip. And the good news is Adam Wainwright pitched well, and Chris Carpenter showed a scoreless frame.
That's exactly right. Much more on that coming up. As mentioned, Adam Wainwright on the hill for the 3rd time since returning from the disabled list. We'll break down Waino's start, and it was a good one. Plus, what will Chris Carpenter look like coming out of the bullpen? Well, we found out tonight. We'll take you inside the Cardinal clubhouse down in Arizona as well for player reaction and Tony La Russa's postgame comments. Plus, Ricky Horton traveling back from the future to tell us how things go for the next 20 years in Cardinal baseball. Don't go anywhere. U.S. Cellular Cardinals Live is coming up next.
Welcome to U.S. Cellular Cardinals Live.
Adam Wainwright sets the tone for the evening for the Cardinals down in the desert. He strikes out 7 over 5 1/3 innings, picks up his 8th victory of the season. The Cardinals with a couple of more, how about 3 more home runs, provide the offense, and it equals a Cardinal victory against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Hello, everybody, and welcome inside our FSN Midwest studio in St. Louis. It's a post-game edition of U.S. Cellular Cardinals Live, along with the former Cardinal and time traveler Ricky Horton. I'm Pat Paris. Coming up, we're going to break down Adam Wainwright's 3rd start back from the disabled list, and we'll take you inside the Cardinal clubhouse down there in Arizona and bring you Tony La Russa's thoughts. And Rick's going to come back from the future 20 years ahead and tell us,
You're going to like it.
I know, exactly what we can expect over the next 20 years of Cardinal baseball. We'll see how that plays out. Remember, you can get involved in the show, not time travel-wise, but you can get involved in the show with U.S. Cellular text time. Give us a shout. Text us 37289. Rick and I will answer those questions a little later on. Please include your first name, where you're texting from in that message. Standard text messaging rates do apply, and we'll just assume you're texting from 2008, so don't include the date. Let's head back to Arizona now. Jim Hayes standing by with Felipe Lopez, our Mid-America Chevrolet dealers player of the game. Jim?
Felipe Lopez homers for a 2nd consecutive game. More importantly, you guys get a win. How bad did you need this one?
It was a must win, you know. We've been playing great. We just had a little bad luck. It's good to win. It's good to win. To end this little run we had. We just got to keep working hard and keep doing it.
You guys feel like you still have a run left in you?
I think so. You know, it's not over until it's over. We'll play hard to the end, and whatever happens, happens.
How good was Wainwright nearly going in this one?
He was outstanding. He looked like I've seen him. You know, he looked awesome. He's throwing a lot of strikes. He was working.
How about you? You got a 10-game hitting streak since you came to St. Louis. You've been tearing the ball off the cover. I mean, the cover off the ball. What's the difference between what was going on in Washington and the way you've gotten off to a great start here?
I don't know. I guess the energy or the atmosphere. I mean, I can't explain it. It's different, you know. And I've been working with Hal and Aldo, so you know they're really putting it simple for me, and it's working.
It is working.
You know,
big win for you guys tonight. Felipe, thanks for the time.
All right.
All right, Felipe Lopez, we go back to you.
Thanks very much, Jim. Back-to-back homer nights for him, for Felipe Lopez.
He's done that with 4 different teams, actually.
7 home runs the last 2 nights. And interestingly enough, Rick, this ball club with their 7 hits and 8 runs, that's the first time this season they've had more runs than hits. And you have to go all the way back to July 26 last season when they actually had 11 runs and 10 hits against the Cubs. It's taken a lot of hits generally to get runs, not tonight.
And that's not normally what you'd expect out of a Cardinal team. You don't expect to be able to get more, get more runs and hits. It just doesn't work that way. But it hasn't worked that way this year, that's for sure. But what did happen tonight, which I was thrilled with, is Adam Wainwright knew how to pitch with a lead. That's something the Cardinals also haven't done very well this year. They haven't done it often enough. They had a lead in the game yesterday, couldn't hold it. But tonight, Wainwright got those runs early and made it stand up.
And the bullpen made it stand up. It was a little slow coming at times, but they made it stand up. Let's get more analysis now. We're going to have you from the booth and head back to Chase Field in Phoenix. The guys who just called it, Dan McLaughlin, Al Hrabosky, rejoin us to talk more about that bullpen that got the job done tonight, guys.
Okay, Pat, thanks, and looking forward to Ricky and time travel. But before we get to that, one of the things that was kind of hidden in this game was Chris Carpenter, Al. You had the home runs, 3 of those. Wainwright, obviously, as the guys talked about, very good. We heard from Felipe Lopez, but how about Chris Carpenter and his return from the DL?
Well, anytime you see Chris Carpenter take the mound, it's a good sight for the Cardinal fans. Got in a little trouble, but then with runners at first and third, he got the force out at second base. Then he gets a strikeout here. And then just a little harmless ground ball to the left side and gets out of the inning without any damage. So, you know, I think maybe one of the things to think about is Wainwright, and I talked about he had a little back issue before, and I think when they took him out after 5 1/3 with only allowing 3 hits and a couple walks, I think that maybe flared up in that long inning where he was stranded at third base where he got the double and 2 RBIs. So I'm sure it was fine, but the bullpen really did a nice job and preserved the victory.
Doug Davis will get the start for Arizona tomorrow. It's an afternoon game here in Arizona. The Cardinals will turn to Kyle Loge, who's a 13-game winner. Let's send it back to the studio.
All right, guys, look forward to your call tomorrow, and we'll catch up with you then. Let's look at the highlights. We pick it up in the top of the third. 2 outs, runner on first, and Troy Gloss pulls one.
That's your number
out
2
to
hitter.
Left. Yeah, batting 2 tonight. Works, hit the 2-run homer there. His first homer since August 9th. Just his 4th extra base hit since that last homer. Top of the 4th, runners on first for Yadier Molina, and he rips this one to left. Another 2-run shot, 4-0. Molina homering in back-to-back games. It extends his hitting streak to 13 games. Next batter, Felipe Lopez, our player of the game, bombs away. Back-to-back Cardinal home runs, 5-0. His second in as many games.
Se fue otra vez.
Meantime, Adam Wainwright looking sharp tonight. Mark Reynolds swinging.
There's a strikeout.
Chris Young swinging as well. Miguel Montero caught looking.
A lot of those strikeouts.
Chris Young frozen. Waino 5 1/3 allows 1 run, strikes out 7. To the 6th, bases loaded for Wainwright, and he helps his own cause. A 2-run double down the left field line. So the Cardinals now have a 7-0 advantage. To the bottom of the 7th we go. Chris Carpenter making his return from the DL after a couple of hits. He strikes out Jeff Salazar swinging. Then he gets Stephen Drew to ground out to end the 7th. Drew's hits for the cycle yesterday. He goes 0 for 4 tonight. It's a 1 scoreless inning outing for Chris Carpenter. And the bullpen, well, they did a nice job. It was 5 different relievers giving way after Adam Wainwright and getting the job done. 8-2 is the final. It snaps the 4-game losing streak. 7 home runs in the last 2 games. And the Cardinals now Well, they find themselves feeling a lot better about themselves, Rick, because I think Felipe Lopez is right. We called it in the pregame show as well. It was really a must-win at this point. Last week we were saying you'd like to win, you need to win. Well, now they're really must-wins. You got to win series.
I think we've said must-win about a few different games.
Yeah,
though, and I don't know whether it's past the point of no return or not. But you know, from here on out, you got to forget the scoreboard and just keep winning.
And you got to win series, and well, they now have a chance to win series because they'll go for the rubber game tomorrow. Hey, the wild card leading Brewers and the NL East leading Mets again scoring off tonight in Milwaukee. We're going to pick the game up in the 10th inning, tied at 5 runners on first and third for Endy Chavez. He lifts a sacrifice fly, and Daniel Murphy tags and scores to give the Mets the exciting and thrilling 6-5 lead, Rick. And believe it or not, the Mets bullpen was able to hold on from there. They've had troubles lately, but they win 6-5.
Brewers just haven't lost very much lately.
No, they haven't.
All.
So for them to lose back-to-back games, and then you say, well, what if the Cardinals had won the game they should have won yesterday, won tonight? Well, they'd be 4.5 back. But
well, you know, you got to stop.
You
got to be careful about looking back. You always have to look to the future, as of course we're doing tonight. But that's the only thing the Cardinals can think about. What do we do the remaining 23 games? What do we need to do here? And because that's a more productive use of your energy. But it is. I mean, it's certainly true for those of us who've been following the team. It's frustrating to look back at some games they should have won, but the club can't think about those.
And the other down part of it, though, is the fact that the Phillies still remain. They won tonight. They're still a game in front of you, so you've got a team between you and the Brewers who are leading the wild card. It does make it tougher. We talked about Chris Carpenter a little bit. Dan and Al did, but it's interesting to point out the fact that it's rare to see Chris Carpenter. First time since 2000 he's come in a relief role, and that's really his first action since he had the issues with the shoulder, and so. Hey, it's a step.
I think he looked pretty sharp tonight.
Yeah.
I'm impressed with the fact that his velocity was there. He threw a couple pitches, 94 miles an hour. His command wasn't fully there. He threw a couple cutters that weren't very good. And, of course, that's just really a blue pit the other way. I think that surprised Montero that he actually got a hit. He didn't even really see where the ball went, just kind of an inside-out swing. And then there was kind of a cutter that hung a little bit that Young drove into left field. That wasn't a good pitch. It was a 3-2 cutter. Again, he was behind in the count. His command not great. But then he really kind of bared down after that.
Maybe he had a double play right here.
Well, probably could have been a double play. It was 6-4. Well, do I throw it or not? I mean, they couldn't really tell whether he caught it. And then that was a nasty sinker. And then he got a guy out that was, 10 for 10 yesterday, and Stephen Drew. So the point is, Carpenter to me was sharp. You like what you see. But the important thing about Carpenter is how he feels tomorrow and then the next day. I doubt that you'll see Chris Carpenter pitch again until you give him a couple days off. That's what I would suggest or guess would be how they're going to handle him. Even though he just threw one inning, he threw a lot of pitches that inning.
And the off day Thursday, so likely we'll see him at some point this weekend when the Cardinals are back here at Busch Stadium. We're going to continue on U.S. Cellular Cardinals Live. King of the Hill will go in the clubhouse, and we'll go back to the future.
U.S. Cellular Cardinals Live is brought to you by U.S. Cellular. Believe in something better.
Here's our key of play of the day, and it was key because it ended any kind of uprising the Diamondbacks had in the bottom of the sixth. It's Mark Reynolds popping out over by the Cardinal dugout, and Albert Pujols leans in, makes the catch, hangs onto the ball, and hangs onto himself to
Similar play yesterday.
Similar play yesterday that he unfortunately wasn't able to make, but tonight he makes
Kendall
that
got in his way yesterday. There he is again.
This time, Kendall, well, he was nice enough to tell him where to make the catch. We're flashing back to October 13, 2006. It's the last time Chris Carpenter and Adam Wainwright appeared in the same game. It was Game 2 of the NLCS with Carp getting the start but giving up 5 runs in 5 innings. Adam Wainwright, the last man on the mound, getting the final 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth, securing the Cardinals' 9-6 win. Very interesting. We saw it again tonight, but it was reversed. It was a reversal of fortunes in a lot of ways, and our Helitech King of the Hill is Adam Wainwright, the starter tonight.
It was nice to see both of them in the game, but Wainwright got it started tonight, and he was dominating early. 7 strikeouts through the first 5 innings, and twice he had 3 in a row. And he had 4 strikeouts looking, which means they didn't want any part of him, and his ball was moving very quickly towards the end.
Let's go back to Phoenix now. Listen, inside the Cardinal clubhouse.
Well, my arm, hand, and everything felt good. My command was fine, so I would put it. I didn't feel much different than last game. I felt pretty good against the Brewers too, but I'd say my breaking stuff might have been a little better today.
Adam looked like you were moving. Did you have command problems?
No, I had some back issues today before the game. I spasmed out pretty good in the hotel today, so I was just glad I was able to pitch, to be honest with you. But no, I don't think so. I mean, I knew I do this several times a year, so I knew I could get through it. But training staff did a great job, and it kind of worked in my favor because there was no way for me to pop out of my pitches too early. I had to really get through them and make sure I stayed through my delivery the whole time. So at the end there, I was on base, and I guess it just kind of stiffened up on me, and I started to lose a little control there, and they saw that and got me out as soon as possible.
First 3+ innings, you were just untouchable. What did you have working? What was your...
Well, this team, I think you just have to be real aggressive. You can't fall behind the count and put guys on base because they can do too many things. You got guys that can steal bases and do a lot of things when they're on base. So I think you just got to keep them off base the best you can. And I just tried to mix everything and you know, locate stuff and just let my defense work because I got a great defense behind me. I mean, there's times you feel that good, but I really wasn't thinking about anything other than just making one pitch at a time. And my defense is too good to not let them work, so I just tried to put it in play and let them work.
On the other side, you guys turned the walks into big runs with the home runs after the walk. What do you think of that?
Well, their pitcher he was doing a good job at the beginning, and he's been pitching really well as of late, is what I heard. And he's a guy that can get it going pretty quick and keep you on your heels. And you got to build everything you can and just take advantage of what you get. And, our team did a great job of that tonight. Troy got us started off with a big home run, give me a lead, and when you get a lead like that, you know, you kind of just relax and just go out there and just, you know, you're feeling pretty confident. So I like our chances with a lead in this team.
You guys gained ground at both the Cubs and the Brewers. You still looking at those races and stuff?
Until they tell us that there's no chance we can do it, we're going to look at those races. I mean, there's nobody, no sports writer, no fan going to tell me we're out of this thing. So until the last game of the season, I'm battling like we're going to be ready for the playoffs. I mean, there's a lot of heart in this dugout in this clubhouse. Too much to just give up on a season that we played this hard. Everybody picked us to finish 5th, so I'm not listening to any reports saying we're out and we're done and all this crap. I'm done with that. We're going to compete to the best of our ability all year until they tell us we're done.
Love his attitude. I'm not a huge fan if he picked the music, however, but that's his own. Usually the winning pitcher gets a chance to pick it. Some food for thought brought to you by Jack in the Box in 0506. Chris Carpenter, Adam Wainwright appearing in 14 games together, and here's a look at the numbers. And well, it reminds you of just how good Adam Wainwright was coming out of the bullpen, and by the end of that 06 season, of course, he was the closer.
Yeah, it was fun to watch that clip from the playoffs, too, because he was nasty when he first came out of the bullpen and was just kind of a bulldog, and he's taken that same kind of mentality to the starting role. And, you know, his numbers are great. His ERA below 3 now. And, you know, I really see him a lot like Chris Carpenter in terms of the attitude that they bring to pitching. I see very similar. Now, their stuff's different, but I do see that they've got the same aggressiveness and same tenacity about thinking about the pitch. Adam talked about it again in his interview. You just boil it down to one pitch at a time, and that's not a trite saying. They mean that.
Chris Carpenter, 1 inning tonight, and he was effective, not scored upon. Let's listen to Chris Carpenter to go back inside the visiting clubhouse at Chase Field.
There tonight. It was good. It was fun to get back out there and being able to compete. You know, obviously, it's the first time in a long time to be back out there in a competitive situation at this level, and I was happy to go out and make some pitches when I had to get out of the little jam I was in.
How do you rate your stuff? It looked like you had good velocity. It looked like the speed gun on the board said 94. I mean, were you happy with the way everything felt?
Yeah, I mean, my stuff was good. My shoulder felt good, and my location was the biggest key, and I made one bad pitch I felt to the catcher, they hit the double, and besides that, I kept the ball out of the middle of the plate and kept the ball down.
A little bizarre coming out of the bullpen. I mean, you hadn't done that for such a long time.
Yeah, it was definitely different, but again, it's competing. It's going out there and doing your job, and I was excited to do it, and it was fun.
I saw you were up a couple of times. Did Tony say you were going to start the 7th? I mean, did you know that was the plan?
Yeah, they called down and said I was going to start the 7th, and then once I got Ron up, I thought maybe I had a chance going after him, so I got it going a little bit, and then they got Springer up that instead of going after him, so I just sat down and waited because by that time I was loose and ready to go.
After a day game tomorrow and an off day, I guess, your thoughts on what you look forward to next?
I'm not sure, how many days they're going to give me. I'm sure that, with having a day game tomorrow and an off day on Thursday, I'm probably ready to go again on Friday.
Do you feel like you got enough work tonight, or would you like to get a little more? Where you feel comfortable where you got for?
I don't again. I don't know if they're going to just use me as a regular reliever, and that's fine. It's just being able to get out there and compete the rest of the year as many times as I can, and like we've said all along, leading up to this, was that we thought we had a better chance of me getting out there more times than having to build my pitch count up to start. So, whatever they're going to do, I'm going to do whatever they want.
Thanks. Good luck.
Okay, thanks.
They were asking you how you felt, when you were coming back. Once you get a couple of relief appearances, do you think it's going to be how you feel, and they'll ask you, when you're available, or is this program all on them?
Well, I'm sure there's going to have to be some sort of communication on if I feel good, and they're going to make sure I let them know that I'm available. And besides that, I think there's always communication with the guys in the bullpen and how they feel. So.
Was it weird being out there with the bullpen crew?
No, it's just a different place in the ballpark to watch the game. The view's not as good as the dugout, but we have a good time out there.
And that's Chris Carpenter from a few moments ago. First, U.S. Cellular text message. Cindy from Murphy's, California. Can we send Rick back to the future? I'm not sure about the time-space continuum aspect of all this.
I can't take another trip. I really do appreciate Cindy's thought from California. I know she's really thinking that I would enjoy being back there again,
Probably.
and that's really nice of her. But I just don't think I can take another trip.
She wasn't trying to get rid of you or anything.
No, of course not.
I don't think that was it.
No, it's not like there's anything weird in California.
Not at all. California, it's a place you ought to be.
I could wear that outfit in California and nobody would bat an eye.
Notice, especially if you're in Hollywood around some movie sets. Let's look at the National League scoreboard tonight. The Pirates end a 10-game losing streak. The Phillies shut out the Nationals. That's why they maintain a 1-game lead on the Cardinals in the wild card, if you can follow me. We'll look at that in just a moment. The Braves, 16-14 winners over the Marlins. By the way, Chipper Jones not playing tonight. He tweaked his right knee during batting practice. He was a late scratch, so he stands at 358. Albert 0 for 3 tonight, so he stands at 361. So Mr. Pujols still maintains the batting lead in the National League and in all of baseball.
30 runs in that game anyway, without Chipper.
Yeah, 6-5. The Mets a winner over the Brewers. I showed you those highlights a little earlier on. Here's the rest of the senior circuit, and the Astros knock off the Cubs 9-7. The Cubbies have lost 4 in a row, Rick. I didn't think we'd see that all the rest of the season long.
You think back in 1969, how many games the Cubs lost to the Mets? Now, that's a long time ago, different team, but it is possible. The Rockies know it's possible. They won again.
Right, don't look now, but
they're
the
one of the
Rockies
hottest.
Right,
yeah.
They could catch both the Dodgers, who won tonight, and the D-backs. It's
lost,
a game and a half.
5 games now that the Rockies are behind? Something like that.
They're 5 games exactly. The Dodgers are a game and a half behind the Mets. Right. So it's a tight race out there. And really, the D-backs the 2 games over 500 in the West. But let's focus more on the wild cards, because that's what we're interested in.
That's what we care
now.
about. Exactly.
And
Milwaukee,
again,
there's Houston, 7.5 all of a sudden.
And they're still 2 back of the Cardinals, and that's kind of a scary thought too. But the emphasis we were talking about before, you still have one other team to get in front of, and that's the Philadelphia Phillies right now, between you and the Milwaukee Brewers, who lead the Wild.
Yeah, you have to just hope one of the teams in the East just falters and that Milwaukee falls flat on their face. And, it's hard to imagine that happening as good a team as they have.
Right, but as you mentioned,
could happen, though.
For the time being, the Cardinals need to focus on the